What's up and welcome back, fellow Siege spectators and players, to another installation of the Siege Double Shot coming at you wild goose chase style. I am the Reverend WhiskeyGlitter, and with me, as always, my partner, my co-host, Mr. WhiskeyRun. Say hello there, Whiskey.
Welcome everyone to the Wild Goose Chase in the playoffs. We're ready for the semi-final match between the Goons and Team Valkyrie. And both of these two teams are getting their redemption arc here because they were eliminated from the XGS Spring Blast tournament that is going on right now, set to finish up relatively soon. Both of those teams were eliminated in the quarterfinals, with Valk losing to Aerial Arise, who is in that final, and the Goons losing to Coastal Gaming. So the winner of this game is going to get to face the SSG Academy here. We'll pull up that playoff bracket. You can see this final game there on the upper side of the bracket to who's going to play SSG, and this is a $1,500 prize pool here in the Wild Goose Chase, with 1,000 going to the first place and 500 going to the second place team.
Oh, and look at that graphic. It looks so good. Yeah, winner of this game headed on to the big dance. I can't wait to see how this is going to turn out. Team cards going on. Wild card got a 65% chance excuse me, 65% win rate. Geez, here we go. Can I speak even a little bit? Oregon being their best map, not going to be seen this evening. On the other side, Valkyrie looking real good, coming in at winning almost 3/4 of the games they played.
Yeah, that's right. And for sure, teams that you have seen and know and love as part of this this finishing out this T2 roster. So, like you called it out, I want to take a look at the map bans. It is a best of 3 tonight in the semifinal. We're going to see Chalet to start, Clubhouse as the second, and then Skyscraper, if required, that decider. Now, I think we've got everybody is ready for this game, my friend.
That's a big AO. Let's go. You said it. First map that we're going to be taking a look at is Chalet, my friends, up to take some cocoa by the fireside as we start this best of 3. Let's get into it, Whiskey. Let's talk bans. What do you think we're looking at here? We've seen a lot of that tertiary site play, of course, being very present on Chalet, so I imagine that this is going to be no different. Do we see the Ram get taken down?
That is, yeah, like you said, a great question. Ram going to be there? I think that the definite possibility, but I would guess that we're going to see more of the standard bans, my friend. I don't think we're really going to see anything special here going into Chalet when you've got $1,500 on the line.
No, come on. It's the semifinals. It's where the magic happens, my friend. We're going to see something fun, and the first one going to be off the board, and it's the Brava, baby. I told you. Let's go.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. You did call it out. So Brava, yeah, that first one off the board, not the typical ban. I'm happy to see it. I would have loved to have seen Brava to see how they use her, but the surprise, the big one, Dokkaebi is going to be available, right, as Ying is the second attacker to fall.
Right, and such a huge operator for this map because it helps us out that roam game with all the flank potential that Chalet holds onto. So that's going to be, she's going to be utilized. Zami, the architect, the next to fall in the ban phase, definitely utilized for that top library and mez hold, just setting up a real trench warfare. Usually kind of trying to support the Mira that plays up top for that tertiary site play. Going to be left on our own, and then Fenrir to follow it up. No surprises there.
All right, here we go for the first. And we talk about the fact that that first floor site has really become the meta. And we're seeing it play out here. First floor, Bar Gaming to start, my friend.
Yep, Bar Gaming, and just like we talked about, we are going to see the Mira first on the board. It's going to be dedicated to holding that top library position. That is such a crucial thing here for the setup.
Attackers have discovered the location.
You to take away that intel that, of course, the Goose will be bringing to the table, known for their great use of that drone economy there. But Lucy, somebody we haven't seen too often, but has started to make a comeback. We're going to see her to slow them down. I like the call.
Yeah, I think Malusi has definitely increased here at the very, we're at the very tail end of the Year 8 Season 4. This is as close as we can get. The final game, like we called it out, the grand final here for the Wild Goose Chase is going to be tomorrow, and that'll be the last day for play in Year 8 because the Year 9 Season 1 confirmed to be dropping on Tuesday next week. So we've just got about 48 hours left before that happens. So Goons and Valkyrie trying to finish out Year 8 here in style, closing out this just in time for the new season to drop.
All right, so we're going to start seeing this first minute tick by. It's going to be the drones getting to work, trying to suss out where the heck these defenders are. They do have that deployable shield. It's going to be the aggressive swing here. The double is they're going to swing out. Mute to be followed up with Lucy as well. Really aggressive defensive starter. Not going to find anything, however. But on the attacking side of it, we've got some great operators, right? 2 droners, Twitch to deal with the mirror floors, to deal with that deployable shield, and that extension util. It's going to be the first scoop, finding JJ off the board, and that's going to be body balance dipped in favor of the Goons. They now sit 5-4. It's going to be Iona coming blue. Got a little bit of intel, somebody on that back stairs, Whiskey.
That's right, and Bry sitting down there knowing that that's going to happen. Swings a little bit wide, waiting, a little bit of cat and mouse here, trying to figure out who's going to make the first move, and Iona works her way back out, knowing that that may be a dangerous position to be playing. So see JJ rotating back up through Solar, trying to find the spot to hold here to keep this attacking team at bay. Deity taking a couple shots there down the stairs, trying to hold on to that power position in stock.
Yep, Bry going to take a siege off the board, now taking us into a 4-4. Got a minute and a half left on the board. We're still going to have to deal with this top library hole. Now they did get themselves inside scoop to find another now as he takes Deity down, giving body balance back in favor of Goons. Still got a minute 15. Do have that library control smoke helping to get that real estate onto the mirror, but you know, they're inside. Still got the double swing inside of the closet as well. So Maya's rotated back up here. 60 seconds left. Here's the swing. Oh, gonna lose his life. The double, the follow-up.
Oh, Mendez!
Sheesh.
Oh, finally, Hitman, the last one to be able to finally take down Mendez, is sitting in the library corner. But, boy, this attacking team having a little bit of difficulty trying to deal with the utility there from the defenders. The Valkyrie, or those mirror windows still up, but boy, they didn't need to deal with the utility when they were able to deal with the players directly. So a couple swings upstairs from the defenders in the library, and then downstairs. Goons close that one out and take the first round on attack.
Okay, well, there you go. It was a great start. It was a bit of an aggressive start by the defense with the double swing on the double in the main. But they had the answer for it. Goons coming up on their first. So we're going to head all the way down to the basement for the next round here. Going to bring a little bit of area to now with it. But Intel is the name of the game, Whiskey. Valkyrie and Solus are going to be used here. And one of the last few times we're going to see potentially, is that what coming with the patch too, the Solus nerf?
Yeah, that's right. Solus not able to use her gadget during the prep phase at the start of Year 9, so this is it. Those sight drones, those preset drones are going to be much more valuable, kind of like they were, in Year 7. We'll revert back to that pre-Solus kind of meta. Now, even when she's out, so for sure she had a tremendously high ban rate in competitive play across basically all levels of Siege, but expect that to go down a little bit as we try and figure out who is going to be the new place to continue banning out. I think that the Intel is still going to be king. We are definitely in the Intel age of Siege, so Valkyrie, I think, will be an important part of those teams, and I think likely to increase in her ban rate going forward, would be my guess.
Yep, bringing a bit of a two-pronged approach here on the side of the attackers. 2 hard breach, both Thermite and Ace on the board. He's going to hit it from the snowmobile and get themselves a little garage trench access. Set up those cross sight lines. Capitao going to be utilized again. Definitely have seen his pick rate jump up pretty dramatically as well, right? He's got the flame, he's got the smoke. It's definitely great for the post plant, but really it's dislodging those key players, right? You've got the mirror on the board. It's great for getting her off that and allowing yourself to push in into the cloud of smoke.
That's right. With the shift to the other the other first floor site, seeing a little bit of the that the library mezzanine real estate is open, but seeing Solus upstairs trying to find one of those defenders or one of the attackers playing upstairs. All the action happening in the basement, even though you've got some of that second floor roam going on.
Cheeky angle by Zeech as he's holding onto the drone hole, looking to catch somebody. So slipping with the toes, and there's going to be the first kill. Vector going to ring out and claim Scoob, but it's going to be
taken down.
The fire finisher, Whiskey.
Part of the challenges that you see in the Battle Pass happening right here live, and this is one of the things we saw the Goons play style with the drone hole hold on border. When we saw them earlier, one of the Goons the Wild Goose Chase quarterfinals was holding that border drone hole like crazy downstairs in the bathroom. So interesting to see them trying to take that strategy again here on Chalet, but Hitman gonna find reveal.
That's gonna take a lot of downs huge in favor of Team Valkyries. They now find themselves in a 3v1, 53 seconds left, and it's gonna say all on Ayana's shoulder, but Solus with the P90 ready to clean that one up. As the dome piece gets popped. That last shot in the garage.
All right, 1-1 as we head into round 3, so a little evenly matched as we roll in. Chalet wasn't on either, like we said, not on either team's best and worst lists from an OPL perspective. So kind of the opening start. This was the Goons map choice, so they get to start on attack with this Team Valkyrie feeling more comfortable. And I love this next pick coming out. I've seen him being used significantly more often. The Maestro for the intel coming out here for this for the first floor site. So we've gone 2 first floors and a basement here as the first 3 rounds played on defense.
I like it. The Maestro call's huge, and with that recent rework, giving him that third cam, puts him on par with Valkyrie, but has a cam that shoots back, in your immortal words. It definitely makes him the OP pick, and especially on the kitchen site. They're expecting to see him holding the long angle, potentially over the chassis from kitchen, or dining and just being active on the cam mark. Either way, love the Maestro call. Help support it with the mute as well to take away that intel. Those drones that are so prevalent, plus bring that shotty to back you up. This is a good setup here, not to mention Tubro.
Yeah, that's right. Did not see a lot of play of the Tubro in even in SI. It just really has not had a huge presence. I think it's typical when you see the new operators come in where the competitive teams still trying to find out the best way to continue to use him, especially after the nerf dropping him from 4 of the Zoto canisters to 3. And that change in how his gadget affects the electronics. So, but look at that through the floor. Yeah, there's a little bit of extra interaction with the electronic gadgets, but still useful for slowing down, buying some time for the defense. Plus, he's bringing a DMR.
Yeah, and not only that, look at the cheeky little angle he just opened up. Yes, they're going to get it open, but they've still got that vertical presence holding on here. So 2 minutes left on the board, and they're starting to get that library, or starting to get that main lobby control. You're gonna have to see him open up both the top and the bottom here, because it's Tubro. You got to push him out. Got to find a way to dislodge him. They've got the intel from Grim to send it in. Usually you kind of see some of that. I like when they bring the Thermite Osa combo here, but opting for the Flores and the Finca instead does do a hell of a job getting rid of those Maestro cams for sure.
And we haven't seen, because the nade change and you lost the ability to cook the grenades, which I know is a sensitive subject for some of the Siege players out there, but the fact that you still have them as an important part of the attacking arsenal there, they can still create motion, still cause the defenders to have to move, which can open up lines of sight that weren't previously there for the attackers to take them out. So bringing Finca, that 60 HP plus a pair of frag grenades, still a really important part of an attacking lineup.
Yep, absolutely. And that is going to be Mendez taking off the board, taking us into a 4-4, less than 60 seconds on the board as the clock starts to tick down here. Wombai just getting droned out. Everybody using that intel. He's going to be rotating around.
Oh,
It's going to be
so close.
Scoob with the triple kill now puts us into a 4v2. 38 seconds left on the board, and it now is on J Hitman and Deity with all to do here against this stacked up attack team.
That's right. They got 20 seconds left. They've got double the man count, but they still have to find a way to get an execute off here. Hitman holding down this spot, and they've got him droned out. They know where he's at. He's running the LMG, taking shots. That is the plant going down in kitchen.
There's going to be a pistol pop to take Hitman off the board. Deity now all on his shoulder scoop to clean that one up in the end, and the attacker's going to find themselves another round.
Yep,
That's
the vertical control. Vertical control comes in clutch there, holding onto the hatch above. There was nothing Mute could do other than hopefully get lucky. If he had killed the planter, maybe they would have had a time, the ability to pull it off for time. But like you said, the Wanted Goons went on attack again, and yeah, that's the round rotate. So head into round 4, 2-1. The attacker's up by 1.
Yeah. Speak of the adaptation here, right? Generally, after the round rotate, you head back down to your primary and run it right back, but it's going to be, no, switch it up here for the defense. We're going to head to the 2F location. A little nod towards nostalgia here. And to do so, there's going to be no hard breach on the board, but one of the staples of Chalet. You see the Frost. You see her just unusually high number of pick on Chalet, and I would go so far as to say almost every round or every map that we've seen, Frost has been used at least once. For all those window jump-ins, and of course slowing them down even after the reload.
That's true. You have fewer walk-in entry points for Chalet, I think, because so much of the action takes place on those 2F locations and 1F locations. There's just not a lot of walk-in locations. Plenty for the jump-in though. And you're right. I don't know why Frost has got such a high pick rate on Chalet, but definitely makes an appearance frequently there. On the attacking side though, I like the Nomad pick. Siege. Hasn't found a kill yet, but I don't expect that to stay that way long here as we roll in deeper into this first map of the best of 3. But bringing out the Nomad, a little bit of that flank watch. Looking forward to seeing what he's going to bring here.
Yeah, a little bit of that flank watch, a little bit of that comfort picked, right? Play the op you love, as Pangu says. So, first minute starting to tick by, and we're really getting taking an extra second here to suss out where the heck these guys are, and now it's Finka that puts himself into library control. Very silly.
My device is
A bit of bad luck on that drone toss, yeah.
Yep. Or unless it was what he was meaning to do, that was perfect. It was expertly thrown. Scoop gonna get inside and start to open up some of the bottom wall. You know, make sure that they open up those sight lines. They can watch their flank from below as well, and start going shots off. Boy, we're not gonna find anything. However, so they're gonna retreat back to the half wall and start to put themselves in that position, take these gunfights. We're gonna get the first death here as her body gets riddled. Now takes body balance in favor of the Wanted Goons.
Yeah, and that's all the Selma charges off the board, so no other opportunities there. I don't think they got... Did they get the top wall open on 2F? Off the mezzanine? They did.
Oh,
well, of course, Mendez taking advantage of it by taking Jaeger off the board there, and it's a 5v3. There's a minute left. Again, looking very good for this Wanted Goons team. And there, Siege finds his first.
Yeah, they find themselves up in the body balance with 60 seconds left on the board. Jay Hitman and Bry with all to do here at the end of the round, holding on to the long angle, trying to catch somebody on the rotate from that Mez window there. That is Bry to find Scoop. Dome piece missing now. A little bit closer in the body balance, but immediately traded out as Bry gets taken down. Jay Hitman to find 1, Jay Hitman to find 2. Now going to be the swing on to Mez, and the grenade. Oh my lord. Almost finds himself, got a little bit of that window action. It's going to be the flash in, goes full white, the swing in, takes the shots onto the door. It's the pinch starting to happen. Finka getting a little bit of damage, and it's going to be Exige to follow it up. Well, you called him out. He's going to find himself a double.
We knew that was not going to stay a 0 for very long, proving it there. And this, You know, this one Goon Squad really captured the hearts of, I think, the Siege community as part of their magical E2 run. We got to cast them as the Pokey Gang as part of the E2 quals, but really making it very deep in Element 2 has just solidified this team. But they are a fun team to watch. We've casted a majority of this team in several different leagues, including the GNL finals just a couple months ago, and it's fun to be able to cast them in their E2 form, and playing very well right now.
Yeah, absolutely. But you know, Valkyrie, not a team to be scoffed at here, right? They've made it up through the ranks. They are one game away from potentially seeing themselves in the finals. They can do it here. A little bit of the bring back, and they're going to do Slow Down City for it, as both Malusi and Mir are going to be on the board. Of course, we're going to be seeing the Warden. Got to have that shield to hold the top blue area, and will Mai to help set him in a little bit of their own trench warfare. JJ on the Solus as well, going to get rid of all of that intel that the Goons, of course, have been using so effectively, and it's going to be much the same on the side of the attack side outside of the Dokkaebi. That might be the reason why she gets banned out so often.
And certainly there's no scoffing on my side about the quality of the Team Valkyrie players, for sure. JJ and Bri, part of that wild card squad that we had a chance to cast for OCS, so for sure a great team. And built around a couple added members as well. This looks like a very good group, and I love the fact that they're continuing to play Mira. And I don't know if the Goons just don't have that playstyle of using the Ash to try and counter the Mira, but I think it definitely helps put the defense in a better position. They're stuck with trying to manage it just with Ace. They did, we did see them bringing out Twitch as an alternative in a few different rounds, but not on this one. You're gonna have to try and deal with her just with Ace.
Yep, and they're going to get that snowmobile opened up. Bri holding the angle, waiting to see the little pixeliest of pixels take those headshots, which you see these guys pull off. Siege, though, on the counter here. We're going to see, of course, it does have the EMPs in their heads. Oh, the long shot! Going to take JJ off the board, and that's the intel gone as Scoop finds his headshot.
That's right. I was going to say gaining some of this basement control, but no. Deity coming downstairs and using that vector and continuing to hold that real estate for the defense, putting the attacking team certainly on the back foot, and that is going to be the vector to finish him off as well. Deity making himself very known there playing the stairs. What a great shot. A double coming out for him.
That's right, 5 HP in a dream, and that vector is one to help deliver the dream. That thing is just so devastating, so fast, and in the hands of the right person who can put it right, right on the money, finds himself a double and wins the round for the team. 3-2 now as he gets a little bit closer in the score line. Could be inching towards that 4-2, maybe a 3-3. Ooh, could we see overtime for our very first map of the game? Fingers crossed.
When you roll in with a pair of teams like this, I certainly would not be surprised to see overtime because, like we said, at this point right now, the teams are for sure playing for at least $500, right? Because even the second place team going to be picking up that $500 prize. The first place picking up $1,000. So all they got to do is make the finals to make that money. So this game's got a lot riding on it. It's not typical you'd get to play a best of 3 for $500.
10 seconds left before insertion.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Really leaning into the intel here. Valkyrie, going to bring out the Valkyrie, and of course the Solus and Maestro as well. So a lot of investment into trying to discover where the heck the push is coming from. And then Explosion City. 2, 4, 6, 8 impacts on the board and a C4 to boot. Gonna look to see some absolute devastating explosion action potentially. It's like we're all lining up kind of close to the snowmobile, maybe a bit bigger of a more sight direct take here. Oh, Siege gone. Vector gonna find another one. They do get the snowmobile open, and they're gonna get that shield off the board as well.
Yeah, I thought maybe we were going to use those impacts as to try and impact trick some of the hard breach, but they're definitely going to get that one open. Continue to use some of these impacts around, clearing out that Osa shield there. Like you called it, it's going to make the attacking team a little bit more difficulty, but this is something we've seen too with a lot of the players bringing out that 2.5x, the ACOG, just again getting ready. Year 9, we're going to see this magnified scope, the 2.5x, on quite a few more locations and operators as we roll into Year 9, Season 1.
Yeah. So, minute 43 left on the board, and now you're going to see the RAM starting to open everything up. This is one of the problems of holding this basement site is if you get an operator that can get that floor open without relative harm, we can start to see that pressure really being applied there. And it's going to be Scoop to find one, Mendez to find another, and geez, just like that, it is all falling apart for this defensive team. The plant's starting to go down, but Deity does find one. Now takes us into a 3v2, but they're going to stick this plant, this post-plant scenario now. Open up some of that verticality as a distraction. Not going to work, however. They're going to find 2 off the board, and that's going to be another one in favor of the attackers. Put this into that 4-2 split.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. Had the Goyle canisters in place and ready there to try and deny some of the plant, deny some of that area, but the defender's just not in a position to take advantage of that pre-paced utility. So seeing the attackers go up 4-2 on Chalet, I think certainly we have not been seeing an attacker meta in Siege for most of Year 8 Season 4. So interesting that we have sort of seen a lot more attacker wins towards the very end of this season, as I think maybe teams being a little bit more aggressive, getting more comfortable with the current meta, being able to win on attack. It's interesting that we saw such a defensive side of the game for most of this season, and we've really only seen it push up here into the attacker win rate recently.
Yeah, well, for the team that's well-to-do, right? If you can formulate a good attack strategy, you can put some extra emphasis on it. Then you know you're going to win some of those standard defensive rounds. So I think for a real well-rounded team, having a good attack definitely puts them on the front foot. We see it in a lot of teams, especially in the T3 scene. Punnet Goons being no different. So now they find themselves up in the scoreline Whiskey and head onto their defense, which we know they can be very aggressive on. A little bit of slowdown here. We are going to see the castle being utilized, which of course I love. Help defend that verticality. Support that mirror.
Like a couple of the highlight picks though on the attacking side, right? JJ bringing out the Grim. Grim has definitely has been enjoying a much higher pick rate on attack, and really a critical piece of the this attacking team for lots of different competitive teams. The five gadgets coming out, and look at this. Even if you're able to take it off the board, the double nade coming out, Scoob is just sucking up all kinds of attacker utility here, and but pinged out and trapped by the fire, finally goes down.
A lot of util dedicated to taking that warden down, and they do eventually find him. He is down currently, but potentially retrievable if they can. I mean, they've got the crosses set up, and that's when the Siege getting taken down, and Trax kill onto the Scoob as well as he finally gets taken down, and that's 10 and 4 gone. Now puts us into a 4v3, a 4v2. Is Deity going to find Mendez now? All resting on the shoulders of Castle, who is
reveal.
I can't even keep up, Whiskey.
Yeah, they're going crazy right now, seeing the this defense try and hold on for dear life. They're still down a man though, and the attacking team still has more utility to be putting pressure on this defense. They've got some control here in sight. You got Castle trapped on the west main. That is the plant going down. It's all up to Reveal and Exer.
Attackers are activating the diffuser.
Yep, holding that verticality, gonna have to take the scenic route and find themselves in a different position. And here's Castle coming up the west main area. If he is not spotted out, might have himself to play now. Oh, the swing! Yep. He is gonna play.
You
JJ
called
off.
it.
No kidding. Now it puts us into a 2v2. Folks, you got to have 7 seconds still on the board when you start that defuse, or it is all for naught, no matter how the kills ring out. So now we find ourselves 10 seconds left to get onto that diffuser, and it's a 1v2. It's all going to be on Goyo's shoulders. He's going to be pre-firing like a madman, jiggle peeking off the mirror shield. It's going to have to find one in the prone position, stands up, and it's going to get his head ripped off as Valkyrie going to find one on their attack side.
That's right. Hitman hiding behind the kitchen counter, well placed there to defend, and for sure everything going Team Valkyrie's way right now. So they take their first on attack, continuing this this attacker-sided push. I'm really loving it right now.
Me too. Same. Kitchen dining could be our next set. We're going to see a little bit of the long game here as Rooney going to make her way onto the board. Kind of a fun defensive setup. Right? Normally we see some sort of breach denial for that main lobby wall. Coming out. But instead, going to opt for a little intel. 2 BPs. Both Jaeger and Rooney bringing some out. We'll continue with that intel meta that we've been talking about.
Yeah, and I like the projectile deny from Siege. We saw a ton of projectile work there. Nades, flashes, the Capitao, the Grim, like lots of things flying through the air at this defending team. So bringing out both the Wamai and the Jaeger for the double projectile deny, I think a good call based on how Team Valkyrie was playing their first attacking round with a ton of that projectile utility.
This staircase being such a critical push point. All of this utility going to be used to hold that critical push point. I imagine Warden going to be putting himself back in that same spot again. If he can deny it just a bit longer, I mean, and they threw everything in the kitchen sink at him, right? You're right. It was fire. It was Grims. It was flashes. It was double nades. It was gridlock tracks. It was just every single thing that they could think of. So, yes, Jaeger, Wamai, we use all of our utility on holding that back stair.
Just making the rotate back down, and Scoop putting a little bit of pressure there on the vertical side too. So they've got up and down pressure here on the defense, trying to hold on to this this first floor site. And this is so far the fifth. No, let's see. Yeah, fifth time we've seen a first floor site played out here in round 8. So for sure, the dominant sites is part of Chalet.
Yeah, absolutely. And you saw Ash down at the bottom, coiled like a snake, ready to push in at the green light. Start to establish some of this first floor vertical hold. The team goes out more, and they are ready here. Jeez, he doesn't know how close to danger he was, and that's going to be the trade out of Scoop finds Bry and immediately gets refragged as Empty finds him off the board. Now it's 4-4, and that's a huge pick. Not only is it the top frag Whiskey, but it's the Warden off the board. So any of those, no more flashes, never mind. They're fine. Oh, the swing. Siege going to lose his life in that next gun battle, taking us into a 3v4 as Valkyrie finds himself up in the body balance. Deity to find a second on the prone, pwned, and owned position.
Wow.
Sheesh.
Yeah, just a great piece of gun work there, and there is another JJ taking that fight upstairs, putting it all on Xer's shoulders via Rooney. So not a bad player to have it running P10 Rooney as opposed to the DMR.
Yep, so he does get spotted out, and that's going to be the shots, and it's going to be the crossfire setup. Team Valkyrie going to seal that one up and tie up the score line, taking us to a 4-4, and they're going to do it on the attack side.
Well, like you called it out, we're going to see overtime when we were tied up here. Again, hit 4-4 with that 2 attacking wins there by Team Valkyrie, feeling very good with the Chalets. This was the Wanted Goons map pick, and we're going to Clubhouse next, which is Team Valkyrie. So that was on their list of one of the maps that that they statistically have a good shot at winning in one of their best. So we roll into the latter half now, round 9 on Chalet. It's going to be the first team to take advantage at this point where we've evened ourselves up.
Yeah, well, I don't know. We head down to the basement. It seems like a bit of a risky call here. right? Because there's just so many avenues of attack, right? You've got the ram to open up that whole floor. You've got the trench, garage, got blue, main stair, snowmobile, hatch play,
10
two
seconds
of them.
left before
I mean, it
insertion.
seems like a bit of a gamble here. Now, did of course bring along the cave, which
5
is
seconds to go.
potentially going to be stopping the. Oh, look at this! They're extending all
Attackers
the
are
way
moving to
into
defuse
the
a bomb.
garage, so they're going to look to hold this whole basement floor to stall them out. Not a bad play here if you don't want to be caught by the ram opening up that whole basement, that whole wine cellar area. So a little bit of a nice adaptation here by the defense.
That is definitely interesting. Like you called it out. I mean, it's rare you see that much of a extension from a defense. They've got the that wine wall completely head holes open, along with a rotate and a reveal, holding on to the mud. Gonna grab a double. That is huge here for this defensive team. Down 5-2 already in only 45 seconds into the round. That is tough for Valkyrie.
I take it back completely. Basement is now my new favorite site. But you need to extend. That was huge. Exige to find JJ as Hitman finds it onto Xer as well. Now takes us into a 4v1. It's now J Hitman with alt to do here. Still got plenty of time on the clock here. 2 minutes to really bait out as much as he can here. Gonna take a little bit of some fancy footwork, some individual heroics here, and he knows the first bit of contest gonna be on the stairs. No flashes or anything as well. Tough position to find yourself in, even with the DMR in your hands.
Stuck with only one of those EE1D charges left. A pair of claymores definitely not going to be enough. So, and Goons, not, even though we have a lot of fun talking about gooning and how they're going to play this map out, they're not going to just throw bodies at him just to try and push it right. Like we talked about, money on the line. They're going to hang back, play strategically, and make Hitman work for it. And it's definitely a tough spot to be in. Going to take a bit of a, not exactly a break, but certainly not going to be rushing in either.
Yeah. Knows that the flank is potentially there. Going to take the swing on the Valkyrie. Is going to find it. Still 48 seconds left on the board. Didn't do a bit of damage on that connector. So it is lying with just about half of his health left. 39 seconds. Going to take a couple of pre-fires. Nobody taking any unnecessary swings, and that's going to be the sound cue of the Legion goo to go off and let him know down that trench door. Just wait for the crossfire here.
Yeah, again, no need to push it. Diffuser is cold, right? Hitman doesn't have the diffuser either, so not that he'd be in a position to really go for a plant at this point. 7 seconds for sure. The defense set up and in a position to be able to walk themselves up at any point in the garage, in the basement, to take on a planter like that. So that is great defensive win there from the Goons. They're first so far in this half, so they go up 5-4 as we head into round 10. And playing very well, but tied up. Both teams not wanting to give up, and I love it. For a best of 3, we're already at that level of back and forth between these two great T2 teams, trying to find out who's going to go up as we head into Clubhouse as that second map of the night.
Ooh, a little bit of dub house action. Can't wait for that. Bar Gaming going to be the next site here. Round number 10 is Goons try to find themselves on a match point scenario, and Team Valkyrie going to try to tie this bad boy back up. Frost back on board. It's going to be a little bit of investment into slowing them down. We're going to have both Legion and Frost to be holding that top area. Library specifically, Mirror to help support that hold. I wonder if we're going to see a little bit of that corner action. No Doc on the board, of course, but Warden, definitely a solid member to help keep a solid hold on that library corner. The critical push point known as library.
Yep, holding, and I'm going to see, look at the Goons. Looked like they were setting themselves up for something interesting there on this library window. As Hitman and Bry getting ready, but Mendes going to rotate back downstairs. Going to leave it all up to reveal. And Xyz pushing his way down. So we've got defensive presence up and down, but ouch. Reveal going to lose his life. Bry running that Grim, gonna take him out.
Yeah. Paid for his hubris. It's sitting underneath the window. Wanted the cheeky kill, but got killed cheekily. It's going to be a little bit of cheekiness here. Is the Twitch drone going to try to provide a distraction, knowing that they're coming for the window, take a couple of shots?
Oh, but did they... I was going to say, I think Twitch missed the window upstairs, but does get it downstairs. Mendez looking for the Twitch drone. Where did you go? But I don't think they got the window upstairs. Oh, never mind. There it goes. Jeez, we cast our cursor right off the board. As soon as I said I didn't think they got it. They do.
They got it. Now look at this. C4 up and out the window. Going to take a shot. Not going to find anything. No joy on that throw. Minute 45 left on the board. Going to try to establish some of that verticality from below. Still have Xer and... not sure who that was on the top of the stairs there. Oh, the Legion. Siege still holding this verticality here. Gonna have to find a way to push these guys off. Look at how far they're extended into the back area.
Yeah, they're certainly not playing this real tight area siege. Lots of extension here from this Wanted Goons defense, both now in that playing in the basement site and one of the first floor sites. I mean, this is extension into office when the bomb site is downstairs in the bar gaming, right? Typically, you see teams give up a ton of real estate on the office side, the master office side, when the first floor site's down below. Focus the resources there holding the library side. So that's a huge extension. But Valkyrie making him pay for it. They have got the diffuser going down. It's a 4v1, all up to Xer trying to find his way back in. In a little bit of vertical control. Nope. A little bit of siege timing. Was looking at the stairs. Takes his eyes off the stairs for just a moment. As Bry walks up and going to clean that one up.
Yep, ties us back up, Whiskey. It's a battle. It's a war of attrition. It's a battle of the back and forth. It's 5-5 as we head into round 11. Both teams on the precipice of finding their match point scenario. And this is kind of where we see whoever's going to try to string the two in a row. Here at the end point, this is where it's going to happen. We're going to head to the 2F location. See a bit of a switch up for the strat. We're going to see Mira utilized. In addition to that, Maestro and Castle being brought along as well. I have not seen it, and I like it already.
Wow.
Look at that. Look at them opening up that mez wall.
Yep.
So might see some really extensive extension play here, especially with the castle being utilized, right? It's really great at slowing them down or making them utilize some utility to get it off the board. This is a slow down city defense with some intel involved. I like it.
Yeah, not seeing so. Even though Valkyrie on the board here, and we're talking about the op for a second, not going to bring her out. I feel like that when you talk about intel, that's definitely the one to bring. Bring out the bulletproof from Castle, and you've got the Maestro, I suppose, because he's bringing those 3 cams, and they can shoot back. Maybe they didn't think they needed the extra coming from Valkyrie, but look at that reveal. Putting up the Maestro cam in the just over the edge of the bathtub, I think. I like it.
Yeah, I wonder to see where the rest of them are. So on the side of the attack, what did they bring? A little bit of intel themselves. Is Grim going to be on board? You know, since his rework, he doesn't have to put himself into harm's way to use his gadget. You'll definitely be seen Intel be king, and he get his pick rate just skyrocket for it. It's going to be a fun little bit of counter work here. Still said 5-5 as the first minute has gone down. We're going to see the first contest.
Oh.
Ooh, Jay Hitman getting ripped off the board. And it is going to be Mendez to find the second now. And there's, you can see the Grim pings going off, revealing the locations. Might be just a little bit too late as 2 members have died on the side of Team Valkyrie and put the body balance, that man advantage in the hands of Wanted Kings in their defensive potential match point scenario. Siege to find one on the Bry now takes us into a 5v2. I'm dry.
That's right. Boy, he holding on to this lower site location and able to swing up the stairs there and get a kill. So now and Maestro Cam coming out, causing damage, giving a little bit of intel, causing a lot of damage, and look at that. the impact nade coming out, going to stop Grim from using that can opener. Kind of block off a little bit of the sight line as Mira takes a swing and hits it. Not with the C4, but with the pointy end of the gun. Boy, now all down into Amity. He's the only one left and gets downed by the Maestro? No way.
Oh. That's tough. Well, and that's why you bring the Maestro instead of the Valkyrie.
Okay, well, yeah, no, he sold me on it right there. That was it. That's all we needed. And I just want to say, as we head into match point, that that in the Wild Goose Chase here, all of the revenue that the Siege Double Shot gets tonight from subs, from ads, from bits, from donations, all donated to the Zenith Competitive League admins who have kept this league up and running as part of the Wild Goose Chase under the rename here to continue this league, getting give the players a chance to play for money, and all of you getting a chance to watch these two teams duke it out the way we expected it to. So the prize pool fully intact, but all of the revenue donating to the admin. So appreciate everyone stepping up, being a part of this team to help those guys out.
Yeah, absolutely. Goons on the match point scenario. Their defensive half here, and they're gonna head down to the back down to the basement. Right? A little bit of potentially for that extension again. You can see Solus getting active upstairs with the barricades. Yeah, it's going to be a very similar setup. I like it. I love the extension here in basement. It takes that verticality out of play, which is so prevalent, which is, of course, why Hitman is bringing out that ram. Slow it down with the Malusi as well, okay, to stop some of that vertical hatch play. This is looking like it potentially, unless we see Valkyrie with a bit of an adaptation here, right? How are they going to respond to take 2 of this strat? Yeah, I definitely opt for some intel to try to do a little bit more of a suss-out job here. So Siege going to be holding on to that garage angle.
I love the extension, though. It shows, I think, a level of confidence that the Goons have in their defense, in the way that they play together. When you have a lot more area to cover, you got to be more coordinated as defense. Gonna take an early loss, but X are gonna answer back. Even this up was first minute ticks off the board.
Yeah, and it's going to be seeing those tracks starting to cut off some of those rotate angles. It's Gridlock trying to make a bid for some real estate here in the trench area. Going to have to take on Xer as he does it. It's a couple of pre-fires through, keeping them at base, stalling them out just a little bit longer. You need to see a bit of the cross push here. Impact going to take some of those tracks off the board. That is going to be reveal taken down as Soul is going to find his head, or their head, gone missing. Goodbye, sayonara, see you later. Now into a 4v3, minute 29 to pre-fire. Not going to find it. Is going to find him. Xer with the double kill, but it's going to be responded immediately as JJ going to take him off the board. Now into a 3v2. It's a minute and 21 left on the shoulders. And Valkyrie trying to even this one up. Now DD with the double kill. Scoob to find DD off the board. Now it's with Scoob all on his shoulders in this 1v2. So much time for this attack team to suss out exactly where he's at. No util here on either side except for the flash grenades, and that's the play going down as the cross is set up. Takes the long angle. Ram gonna find a little bit of damage there. Knows he's gonna have to take this swing. Isn't gonna find the Gridlock. JJ gonna clean it up, and that's gonna put us onto a tied up scenario. Let's go.
Wow, that's exactly what they needed there. Tying it up and taking us to overtime, round 13. They were not content to lose that first map in a 7-5 scenario. Valkyrie coming up clutch exactly when they needed to. So 6-6 as we head into overtime. We are on just the first map of this best of 3. We've got Clubhouse and potentially Skyscraper coming at you after this. So looking very good so far for both of these teams, and at this point, I'm not sure who we are going to see taken down first.
Need to locate and defuse as many bombs as
Either. This is exactly what you want for a semifinals. Back and forth, both teams firing on all cylinders, and it's the adaptations. It's the it's the switch up. It's bringing out pocket strats that maybe haven't necessarily been seen just yet, and that's why we're seeing the cast Castle and the Maestro being utilized so heavily here. I love the 2F hold with the Mirror, the Castle, and the Maestro. Really going to make this attack team have to find a way to dictate the pace of the round because it's slow down City in the hands of the Wanted Goons. Now, Valkyrie proving very adept at doing that as we do find ourselves tied up 6-6. Sheesh.
6-6, boy, and Scoob having a fantastic game. Exer not far behind them, but Deity on the Valkyrie side along with Hitman both having excellent games as well. Everyone contributing here, and even the support players. So now, where do we go from here? Good question. Now it's all kind of reset. Now it's tied up. They just got to find 2 in a row, or the next 2 if they can find it. I love that the drone work when we see the guys get the drones up in the rafters. Unbelievable parkour.
Yeah, and sometimes they just throw it. They're just goated. Okay, so as the first minute is winding down, sheesh! Mendez gonna find Bry off the board on the crazy swing, takes a drone as well, and that's gonna be body balance tipped in favor of the Wanted Goons here as they find themselves in a 5-4 situation. Oh man, and that puts it a little bit in their favor. That's that unlimited intel gone off the board, not to mention an absolute gunner. What a shot. So the Repel is Deity gonna try to live up to the standard he's set so far, 13-9. He's just pushing straight in. Gonna take one of the Maestro cams off the board, start to set up a little bit of that cross, and the mirror gone. That's an effective use of the intel or of the gadget, but gonna lose their life in the process. Head getting blown off. Amity to find Scoob.
That is the greatest moment in my life, bro.
Still got a minute and 20 left on the board here, and this has definitely now put the attack team in a bit of a bad situation. Rock meet hard place in this 4v2.
It looked like it was a bad bounce for the nade, and I don't think not expecting it to go where he wanted it to. So all down to, we got Nomad, and at least you got the Finka on the board. She's still got 3 of those boosts, so she's still got 60 HP available. So they can find a way in this next minute. Take a couple shots together, try and clear out one of these, maybe isolate a player, see if they can get one by themselves here as they're trying to push in upstairs. That's exactly what they need, but the Frost Mat giving away that location, gonna take the gunfight and win it.
Yeah, now takes us into a 3v2, and this looks a little bit more winnable, except for Maestro there with the LMG and enough bullets to kill them all. He's going to get taken down as well, but it's going to be the trade as Siege finds Hitman, and that is going to put defense back up in the score line and a little bit of pressure on the Team Valkyrie.
That's right. Now it's all come down to this again. Seeing the Wanted Goons in the match point scenario, they're up that 1. We've got to see Valkyrie come up and clutch when they needed to. They did it when we went into OT to start with, so now their second opportunity of the night, and they are going to take a timeout to try and talk about it, think about it, find out what's the best way to handle. And you look at this score line, right? Back and forth, the most we've seen any one team get together so far is just 2 in a row. Other than that, this thing has been back and forth the entire night.
Yeah, no kidding. Both of them responding with a little bit of that 2-2 action here, and it looks like it might be, like we said, the first team that's going to string that late round 2-2 together, or that late round 2 win together, is going to be the one that takes it here for map number 1. Now, here's the timeout, and this could be in the favor of Team Valkyrie, right? We've talked about the timeout buff, and almost in an astonishing 75%, you find yourself with the better opportunity to win the round off the back of you taking the timeout. So could be the potential to tie us up here, unless Wanted Goons are also utilizing this fairly well.
I mean,
it's
you take
one who takes the timeout.
Yeah, like you said, the team that takes the timeout is the one that 75% of the time is going to get the win. And you look at that from that score line, we have not seen the Wanted Goons come up with 2 rounds in a row since round 4. Valkyrie have been able to hold them off from winning 2 in a row. So from that perspective and the timeout perspective, this looks like pretty good for Valkyrie. Going to go to round 15. Certainly if you're a Wanted Goons fan, though, you want them to win it right here, right now. Send us to Clubhouse.
Okay, and so for this overtime match point scenario, we're gonna see is Bandit being utilized for the very I think first time we haven't
10
seen this.
seconds, right?
Oh, that's
Yeah.
5 seconds left.
it may be, yeah. Rolling through this whole set of operatives. I mean, there is 33, 35 on each side. Plenty of opportunities. Valkyrie on this defense. So the only thing I think that goes against them a little bit is that we've definitely seen more attacking wins, or at least quite a few attacking wins, right? We saw 4-2 attacking half on both halves. So puts Valkyrie a little bit on the back foot. We'll see whether or not the timeout buff is going to come in clutch here for them.
Yeah. Okay, so on the attacking side of it, bringing out that gridlock again, cut off some of that rotate, and giving themselves a little bit of that sound cue, and it is going to be Xer getting droned in from the garage area. And they're kind of doing a pinch move here, right? A little bit of top down, a little bit of bottom up here for this first floor, and it's going to be Scoob holding the long angle. Try to catch somebody rotating back into sight. He's got quite the long one, too. Deity going to be potential the first one to see that bit of contest.
That's right, holding on to this mezzanine area. Great point. They've got the mirror window in place, and again from the attacker side, this time Xer bringing out the Ash to be able to try and deal with those mirror windows, maybe. But wow, Scoob! It looked like a bit of a jump scare and a refrag or a trade there. Gonna go 4-4 with this the first half of this potentially last round played out.
Yep, and that's going to take us into a 4-3, minute and 25, as Deity gets taken off the board as well, and that's going to be the Vector gone. And, of course, the top frag, 14 and 11, not going to be a factor in the rest of this round. Just taking a look at him,
no.
Amity takes the Siege off the board and levels the playing field here as we find ourselves into a 3-3. Bry getting active as he bobs and weaves and jiggle peeks the top of blue. Holding on to that verticality, and that hatch is going to be the grenade to go through, try to dislodge somebody from over in that back corner. Cap take a little bit of damage, swing onto the hallway, and it's going to be the Pokeball empty to find one onto Xer. And now it's Mendez with all to do as they're trying to tie it up in this 3v1, and the verticality going to rain from above. Sheesh.
What a clutch up from Bry on defense. The timeout buff in place. Valkyrie gonna take that win and send us to double OT in the first map of this best of 3 tonight. Jeez. Good thing we had daylight savings here in the US.
Okay, yeah, 7-7 tied up. This is map 1, folks. It's a best of 3 barn burner, and this one's got the potential to go the distance, all 3. I hope we see that double OT in map number 3. Okay, so who's going to bring the adaptation? What is the win condition here? We find Wanted Goons on their defensive overtime match point scenario, and Team Valkyrie bringing in the aggression on the attack side. I couldn't call it. I couldn't push it one way.
So the thing that we're seeing here is that, right, the previous 2 times we saw Goons play the chalet defense, they extended into the garage, right? Both of their defenses, when they played downstairs, they had that big extension. And I think that kind of surprised Valkyrie with that. And we saw them take a little bit of a different approach from the Valkyrie side the last time they played it. So the change up that the Goons making, completely cutting off that extension and going with the double reinforcement plus the bandit batteries on that garage wall. So I think just changing it up, trying to maybe catch Valkyrie a little off guard, and that gives them more players to have on the roam upstairs, maybe to put a little bit more pressure on this Valkyrie attack when they're maybe not expecting it.
Yep, but to counter that, right, Jackal on the board, his gadget, just take one look inside of the room, know that there's nothing, no dangerous presence around. It is going to be Mendez holding down the long angle inside of the dining here. He's really just playing life, and this is the extension up top. A favorite hold of mine, where they still have to dislodge that first floor presence before they can get themselves to go for next week, because that hatch covering just a ton of that wine cellar area, and the mirror playing the part to hold the ram as well.
We talked about the fact that it's
calling
can be typically difficult for the bandit tricking to work in competitive play because they're so good generally, and a lot of opportunities for bandit to put himself in danger to try and pull off the trick. But he was just successful in doing it, keeping the JJ's Selma charges off from hitting that main wall downstairs. So gonna have to take a second opportunity to try and open up that main wall. And here we're halfway through this round. We are still tied up 5-5 in terms of the play count, as we're seeing the attackers still try and get themselves set up for an execute. This one taking much longer than we've seen in some of the previous rounds.
Yeah, gonna switch us up to that 20-second meta that we're always talking about. Now it is gonna be Xer holding the angle. It's gonna be a contest here for that Solarium stairs. They're gonna try to take a second look. They do suss him out onto the drone, so it's gonna be the
Bomb located
potential
by
pre-fire for the wall bang here, and that's gonna be Edie getting taken off the board. Scoop gonna riddle bodies full. Xer to find empty, as now we find ourselves into a 5v3. Minute left on the board, and there's the trade as Hitman's gonna find Xer off the board. Put the body balance still in favor of Wanted Goons here, as the last minute going to start to tick down some of that first floor real estate.
Yeah, the sixth man potentially coming in clutch. Time waiting for no one here, and on the defensive side as the last three attackers have got themselves alive, trying to find a little bit of real estate for them to push up in. And now opening up some more lines of sight here into the basement, but still seeing some of this this utility from the attackers upstairs. Trying to find some more drones, some more intel here to help them push.
Ooh,
C4.
the C4. Probably going to find the trade on to Scoop as they take his dome piece now putting us into a 3v2. It's Hitman and Bry with all to do. Bry going to go down in a hail of bullets. Mendez to find the double to clean it up. And that's going to be a defensive round and a match. Or map win. Excuse me.
Map win, like you called it. 8-7, the full double OT time. Unbelievable. We finally got to that point. Xer taking that top spot. Wow, what a game, my friend. 8-7, the first one to go.
Yowza. Boy, that just speaks to what we've got coming up for map 2 and map 3. It's Dub House when we're coming at you here. So sit back, relax, fill your drinks up to the tippy top, because when we come back, it's going to be the second map. Ayo.
Let's go.
What's up and welcome back, fellow Siege spectators and players. And if you're just joining us, well, hey, we're happy to have you here. You missed an absolutely crazy map number 1 between Team Goons and Team Valkyrie as it went the full double OT on Chalet. Now taking us map number 2, it's the Dub House. I am still the Reverend WhiskeyGlitter, and with me, as always, my partner and co-host, Mr. WhiskeyRun.
That's right. Welcome back, everyone, to the Wild Goose Chase here in the semifinals. The last semifinal to find out who is going to play SSG Academy tomorrow in the grand final for that $1,500 prize pool. Today, we're seeing them play out here, find out who is going to be in, at the very least, take the second spot. So either that $1,000 first place or $500 second place. Team finding out who is going to go to fight that one out next. So as we head into the bands, my friend, who we seeing for Clubhouse?
Well, it was a bit of a crazy ban. I wonder if Dokkaebi going to be taken off the board because of how prevalent she was in that last bit of map play. But alas, it is going to be Valkyrie, Ying to find the first ban. Of course, she's kind of the perma-ban for almost every team.
Definitely does seem like it that she continues to be, even without Dokkaebi, she continues to still be, I think, basically the highest banned attacking operator.
Yep, and there's the Dokkaebi to follow it up. Don't want to deal with that roam game, especially on Clubhouse, where the flank potentiality is very high. You see it happen all the time. You have to clear top floor down because it's going to be absolutely devastating on the flank run. So on the side of the defense, I imagine we're probably still going to see that Fenrir ban and Azami the next to follow.
Azami just I think has really changed up the game for Clubhouse, right? The hold in Rafters, the hold in Church Arsenal being those two major sites. And really you see a lot of Rafters play, whether it's a gym bedroom hold or a cash CC hold. So not surprising to see her taken off, just the way she's changed the way that majority of the sites on this map get played. So Solus the next to fall, she was, I think, fairly impactful in the previous one.
Oh yeah, across the board. The flank cam's gone. The push direction noticed. Gonna be out. Now we're gonna see Fenrir being utilized on map number 2. And the reason that I love this so much is that we see a lot of the attack teams taking on that two-pronged approach, where we're doing breaches from multiple areas. The Fenrir gonna help notify where that is exactly coming from. Because he's got 3 gadgets that when they go off, give him a little indicator to say, hey, it's over here, not to mention that fear cloud that surrounds him. We're going to head down to Church Arsenal for the first one, Whiskey. And a bit of an unusual setup here by the Goons.
Well, I'm not necessarily surprised based on what we saw in Chalet. We saw large extensions from them into the garage, so something you definitely don't see as part of a standard setup for Chalet. So to see them take a little bit of an alternative approach here on Clubhouse, I'm here for it. I'm definitely not surprised and love to see what they're going to show and bring to this table. Trying again to throw off of Valkyrie. This is a team full of, like you said, T2 teams and players that you know. And so they have put in many hours here, especially on Clubhouse. So getting to see something changed up, a new way of playing, I love it.
Yeah, me too. And you're going to see it kind of utilized like you would see the gym or the bar stage setup where you go and hold all of gym bedroom upstairs. Well, this is a double floor hold. Castle being utilized to hold that first floor area. They even have the hatch open so that they can fall back in the end of it. But 2 members all the way up on 2F talking about that flank and that clear that you have to have here. This is a very extended setup. Now, IGL can get a hold of that and potentially get more of a site direct option, which is the reason that the Goyo is on the board to slow down and give the defense time to get back to site should that intention be clear.
Yeah, this defense is just absolutely trying to kill time. We're almost a minute and a half into this round, and the attackers finally able to clear out only one of those roamers upstairs. They still have got Scoob up there. He's definitely lower than half of his health, but he had already taken down one of the attackers as well. So look at this, continuing to fight on red. Now he's going to make this swing down. Finally loses his life though, but we're getting close to a minute 15 left in this round for the attackers. Boy, the extended roam game not working out the way that the Goons wanted so far.
Yep, Mendez finds JJ, but quickly refrags. Amity empty, takes his head off the board, and that's going to be an attacker win off the back of the double.
And I think that was not a single kill that happened on the same floor as the site. Everything happening upstairs. Big roam presence there from the Goons on defense. And we were talking about this as we ended the map on Chalet, was the amount of attacking wins, right? In regulation, we saw 8 attacking wins to 4 between both of the teams. Both teams had a 4-2 attacking half. And then in OT, the defense took over, but it was really surprising to see so many attacking wins. And here we are, Valkyrie starting off on attack, this being their map pick, so I think they would feel more comfortable on Clubhouse in general, but still, definitely a deviation from the Year 8 Season 4 meta of a ton of defensive wins.
Yeah, so gonna head back to a little bit of normalcy here, a bit of nod towards tradition for the Church Arsenal take 2. Gonna see Mira on the board, still gonna be utilizing that Fenrir because this is the reason he's banned out so often, right? Is because such an incredibly OP operative. That he's going to make every single push at least that much more difficult, especially with his ability to turn his gadget on and disappear in a cloud of purple smoke. Now we see Cade on the board to defend that verticality, but this time going to opt to keep the hatches closed. A little bit more of a bunker down approach, it's extra aggressive angle.
That's right, but the drones from Valkyrie, I'm going to find out where he's playing and know now playing in that secret area, but Hitman gonna open up this this dirt tunnel. I wonder, a lot of times we see the Maverick used for that, right? Sort of more of a silent entry into dirt, opening up rather than a bit of the explosive. But so far it looks like Hitman may have been able to get in. I was gonna say undetected, but Legion there says no, I know it. Gonna put down a little bit of the trap there. Even though they've got the drone set up. Look at that Legion goo, but he's going to run right into the waiting arms of Hitman. Wow. That was unfortunate from the defensive side.
Yeah, no kidding. Mendez did have a bit of a premonition maybe that somebody might be heading towards that dirt, but it was a too little, too late scenario. Buck just ripped his face right off. Now it's going to be the run out. Oh, unfortunate. Scoob going to lose his life now as well, taking us into a 5v3, all in the favor of the attack team here. We see a little bit of that Cade trickiness. They're still going to try to hold on to that verticality, at least from a moto standpoint. Now it's going to be Mira holding the crazy angle up onto the hatch.
Not even using the Heart Breeze of H, right? He's got 3 of his charges left there. They're using all can openers to just get all of these hatches open. And that angle that Reveal was holding, though, out in dirt, I want to see whether or not he's going to be able to turn that, convert that into a kill, because that's a crazy angle. But still, you've got down here Ace now finally going to use those Selma charges to try and get that church wall open.
Yeah, set themselves up for a bit of a hold across and plant. Now it's Siege put into a bit of a tough spot as the shots are starting to ring out onto the Warden, now taken down to a little bit over quarter of his health. Bobbing, weaving, fire, bees out everywhere. It's Team Valkyrie putting all the pressure on now as they make their way into site. Takes the shot onto Exige, now the plant going down. It's all resting on the shoulders of Warden and Mira. He's going to try to cross the angle. It is going to get hit by J-Man, who puts his triple on. Extra to find one, but immediately traded out as Deity. Going to take that final kill and give 2 in the favor of the attacking team. as we start to see as you said it. Now, we do call this this map, the Great Equalizer, right? Because it has the potential to go both. It can be defensive sided, it can be attack sided, depending on who's setting the pace of the round. Now, it seems like Valkyrie has definitely come fired up off the back of that last loss.
Yeah, they sure did. Opening up with a 2-0 lead, and not very. It hasn't felt very close. We're definitely seeing Valkyrie control the pace of this game, and not letting the Goons set up the way that they want. They've had a bit of an extension. That first round downstairs was a lot of extension from the Goons, and we didn't see any kills take place downstairs. The second time they played back Church Arsenal, they spent a lot more time and utility bunkered back down, but Valkyrie's still able to take advantage of that, using all of their those can opening utility, just opened everything back up and forced Goons to into that bunker back down state, and still able to get kills in the basement. So they've been able to win in the same site in two completely different ways. So for sure, Valkyrie's setting the pace as we roll into round 3 here.
Yep, so we head up to Gym Bedroom for this next round. The last in the first round rotate. And we're going to see this defense set up in a bit of a layer here, right? We've got Tuberau to kind of slow down that breach, potentially on Hot Tub. Mirror to back it up should that fail. We've got the Fenrir, of course, is that second layer that you've got to push through.
That is the greatest moment in my life,
and then
bro.
Frost that final sitting atop red, so you're going to have that two-pronged approach, as we do see Ace and Thermite on the board. He's set up to try to deal with this pretty well. There's no hard breach. Or breach denial, excuse me. Bit of a cheeky angle there.
Oh, look at that scoop, taking some shots as Deity is running upstairs. Oh, that's the hard breach down. So this time they did not bring any other forms of the hard breach besides the thermite. So if he loses any of those charges, it's gonna be the end of the road from that perspective. So they're gonna try, and they've got a lot of things they could open here as the attacking team. Gonna have to be judicious about which ones they're gonna use it on.
Yeah, and Empty to find that kill as Flores drones ring out and dislodge the players and takes the shot. Going to be taking that cache control, that CC control, pushing into the cache area, set up that approach that we were thinking.
There's that one opening up that construction single, trying to put a little bit of pressure along with the Logi hatch drop onto this attacking team. And there the Flores coming out. Boy, all kinds of utility just going crazy here on both sides with the Flores, the Mira, the bees coming out. Jeez, everything happening all at once.
Yeah, Fenrir as well. Now takes us into a 4v2. 55 seconds left on the board. Fenrir taking a bunch of damage, but able to WASD his way to safety. Jay, Hitman, and Empty with all to do here, and 47 seconds left in which to do so. Gonna be the shots from downtown. Off the highway, gonna find one, but refragged immediately as Mendez gonna take Hitman off the board. It's now all on the shoulders of Flores, of Empty, who's gonna take a couple of pre-fires, but he knows he's got... Ooh, oh man, what a great use of the Wamai disc. Stop that last little bit of push that's coming in. 27 seconds left. Gonna have to find one to get this a little bit closer here.
Boy, it almost seems like a bit of a bait there. I had the end of the gun barrel sticking out, so we knew exactly where Mira was sitting, trying to bait him out, and doesn't get him on the first. Waits till the flash is gone before taking a reswing and winning the fight.
Sheesh. Good round by the Goons as they find themselves their first win in the round rotate, which means we can see them all again back down to the Church Arsenal hold. And we're going to switch up again, right? Still going to keep in theme of the area denial. Still going to bring that mirror out to hold some of those cross angles. Be curious to see if they're going to switch up any of those placements. We've seen some, some opting for the church wall for the mirror hold, some opting for the full blue hold, looking into Church Arsenal, which could fall in line with how they were holding down that church basement area on Chalet.
I like bringing out the observation blockers. When the observation blocker first came out, I think we saw Jaeger equip them.
10 seconds
He was
to
one
go.
of the main players. You see them occasionally on Alibi when she's
5
played,
seconds
but
left
they
before
sort of
insertion.
had a bit of a drop off in defensive utility
Attackers must
as
locate
part
and
of
defuse the bomb.
sort of the second half of year 8, maybe it's certainly into year 4. We've seen very little uses of the observation blockers, so it's interesting to see them make at least a little bit of a resurgence here. It just haven't been a real prevalent part of the defensive utility recently.
Yep, but in the age of Intel, might see them start to come back around. I like it. Speaking of Intel, Echo going to be on the board now. We've seen that pro strat where they send it out the back and get that intel of where that push is exactly coming from. Smoke holding down into dirt. Not going to let that buck push happen again.
I think he
Fool
did
me
get
once,
it.
Whiskey.
I think he did get it open though, but this time didn't push down. So good call on Hitman's part to say, all right, even though I'm going to open it this time, I'm going to take a bit of a redirect and try and throw the Goons off, and just have Scoob commit some time to holding down that area as opposed to pushing from anywhere else.
Yeah, and speaking of Hitman, let's highlight it 5-1 through 3 rounds of play into the 4th. Having an absolutely spectacular game. Of course, why they're up in the scoreline currently, I would believe. Now, minute and 40 left on the board, and it's going to see Echo putting themselves on a bit of the redirect. The Hitman starting to open up that verticality. This is one of the fun parts. You get that 2-floor verticality with Buck. Himself with some relative safety as he still tries to pick off the cheeky weaky.
That's right. Now we're getting close to this minute mark, and still seeing this the attacking team getting themselves set up and ready for the execute. This time we're seeing that Ace come down and open up that church wall. They were very successful in taking this site in this style the last time, so see whether or not they can pull off the same success this time. The big difference, we're stacked up, I was about to say literally 5 apiece, and Deity takes a Siege off the board. Turns it into a 5v4. Still less than a minute left, and there's a lot of players still on the board.
Yeah, that means when we get down to it, as we entered into the frag zone, we're going to start to see Trade City. So hold on to your hats, folks. Now going to get that deployable shield off the board as well as the shots start to ring out. Did he get it? Yeah, he got it. Okay, now a little bit more of a precarious situation, and gonna lose his life to that as Empty finds the dome piece. Now takes us into a 3v5. The vertical nature of Mira being played out here. Lots of fire damage, but Mendez able to keep himself alive. Now that's the plant going down. Bri to find Xer off the board, and now takes us into a 4v3
what a
scenario. Sheesh.
Wow, a great shot there from Mendez, but look at all of this utility going off everywhere. And Bri able to find that final kill. So another attacking win in the basement. That is 3 now out of 4 rounds they've been able to find it. So Goons really struggling to hold on to the church arsenal. They're going to take it back upstairs to the 2F and try out the cash CC since they've won in gym bedroom, but have not been able to find success downstairs.
Yeah, okay. So a little bit of Tersh site play.
Attackers need to locate and defuse
Funny
the
to
bomb.
call Cast CCTV the Tersh site, but here we are. On the defensive side of it, we're going to be dedicated and investing some into the slowdown game. Fenrir going to be a constant. Has he been brought every single round?
Attackers have discovered the location of a bomb.
If he hasn't been brought every round, he's been brought almost every round at this point, because on Clubhouse there's a couple really critical, you call them out, push points for the attackers to try and get themselves through the red stairs, and see the Fenrir gadgets used in sort of the same place, right? One of the reasons we saw him banned out frequently early on in his cycle, so teams are trying to figure out where's the best place to use him. Now they certainly have strats set up, so if you're going to ban out the Azami, you're going to ban out the Solus, you're going to have to deal with where Fenrir is playing at.
Yeah. Absolutely, and on the side of the attackers, they're going to try to deal with that Fenrir in one of the potential ways to counter it. We're going to see Didi bring themselves onto the IQ, who's also having a pretty stellar game, sitting at that 4-1 area. So 30 seconds off the board. Valkyrie finds themselves up in the scoreline by 2. They're looking to find themselves a win here on map number 2. Otherwise, proverbial bus ride home, and nobody wants that. Well, I mean, unless you're a fan, of course.
Yeah, I was going to say, half the Twitch chat maybe wants to see it go that way. But, yeah, like we said, if you're just joining us in this best of 3, the grand final for the Wild Goose Chase taking place tomorrow, $1,500 prize pool, $1,000 going to the winner, $500 going to the second. So, at the very least, this game, $500 win here for the team that can pull it off, because they're going to get, at the very least, first or second place tomorrow. So they're playing for some money tonight. See who gets to gamble away for that 1,000. So neither of them wanting to give up. I think that's why we saw that first game go all the way 8-7 in the full double OT.
Legion's going to be the first to be found out, and then Valkyrie relegated to her cams. Thermite to go down as the swing, and it's going to take IQ as well. What a shot, but pays for the hubris as he gets taken down from Bry. Thermite potentially recoverable out on that construction wall, and it's a 3v2 now as Siege finds himself potentially with the play.
Now, we called out Siege in that 0-4 position on Chalet as well, and then he absolutely turned it around right as soon as we said it. So is this going to be the round? Playing that support, he's bringing out the Frost, so not necessarily everyone needs to be in those high kill counts. But right now, certainly the Goons need to step it up a little bit, sitting at that 1-3 mark and down 4-2 in the man count.
Yeah, and completely still vulnerable here to lots of different sidelines. Now it's going to be Anthony taking a couple of shots onto the catwalk, not going to find anything. Frost onto construction, also going to come up empty in those shots, and just like that, they get inside, and that's the plant starting to go down, and empty falls now all on the shoulders of Siege, as this is a post-plant scenario. And Siege going to have to find himself 4 in a row to be able to pick himself it, and it's going to be Bry to wipe him off the board. Body shot galore. Top of red, and Ash gonna clean it up.
Oh, wow. This is definitely a tough place to find themselves from a Goons perspective, down 4-1 as we head into round 6. Now, coming from Chalet, we saw both of the halves, like we talked about, went 4-2 on the attacking side. So, assuming the Goons can find a win here, it'd be par for the course in terms of what we've seen tonight in the gameplay between these two teams, feeling very comfortable on the attack. So, now back to Gym Bedroom. It was the only site we saw the defenders win so far. So, the round rotate done, they're able to come back. So, hopefully this is the place they're going to see them take their second defensive win, send them to the attacking side here on Clubhouse.
And just once again, we want to thank you guys so much for not only hanging out for this best of 3 barn burner, but all of the subs and donations and bits that you guys have donated towards the Zenith League admin team. We just want to say thank you so much. Every single one of you holds a very special place in our hearts for helping out with that. So thank you again for the subs.
Attackers' objective is to locate a bomb and defuse
guys.
That's right. That admin team went through hell to get to this point, so we're glad to be able to support them here on the SiegeDoubleShot, and glad to be able to bring you, boy, what a great game so far. Double OT in the first map, looking very good here on the second map for Team Valkyrie to send it to the third decider, Skyscraper. So it's a little early to call it out, though, so we'll hold back for a second, but doing very good right now.
Here we go. It's going to be Didi potentially with the play. Now Valkyrie having a sixth sense that potentially the swing is coming, but not from the right direction. Does get droned in, so they of course know that he's there. Got a homie there for a bit of backup. Scooter's ready to take that gunfight on as well. See how they're going to respond to this. Oh, that's the way to do it. Scoop going to find one. Didi going to find the trade, and then Scoop to find Didi again, as now we find ourselves in the body bounce tipped in favor of the Goons in a 4v3 scenario. Still got both the hard breach on board. Couple of shots long. Not going to find anything, as JJ going to have to rotate himself around. Bry also taking the scenic route.
That's right. Look, still waiting at the base of those stairs. I was going to say, is JJ going to put himself in a bit of a dangerous position? No, not going to happen here. Going to take himself up to the roof to get themselves in a position to open up one of these, another piece of the hard breach. Siege going to close that window off, close off that line of sight, but no, walks up at just the wrong moment. Some Siege timing with Hitman holding on to the stairs.
They're going to open that window right back up, potentially. So it's all for naught. It now sits 3-3 as the last 66 seconds going to wind off the board. Now, it does feel like this is starting to fall into the defensive favor, even though the man count is evened up, because they've still got to deal with the Wamai and the Mira sitting inside of bathroom. Potential push point that they haven't dealt with. Got to find a way to dislodge at least the Mira to have a shot at taking gym bedroom.
A flash is coming out there. Reveal trying to hold on to this position. Gets one, almost gets two.
Oh, my Lord. Impact. Thermite does go down now into a 2v1. It's all on the shoulders of JJ. He's going to have to take this swing. He's going to have to win it, but not going to give him an opportunity to do so. Yes, he is! As he finds himself on the back end and... Oh, no.
Oh, no, that may have been the down. Did he fall and that was the down?
I don't know. That's unfortunate.
Oh, another 4-2 half. So the attacking team coming out successful, both halves of Chalet, and now the first half of Clubhouse. That gym site being the only place we saw the defense win at this point. So Goons feeling very good about their gym bedroom defensive hold. Now let's see how they feel about taking on the attack. You're gonna go down. Oh, flash down the hatch. Oh, man. It was flashed and fell down the hatch. That is certainly unfortunate. So, all right, we're going to see the Goons take their attack, and Valkyrie gonna go to church as their first location. So they were very successful in attacking. 3 times we saw them win there in the basement. So from the Valkyrie perspective, they know how to attack church very well. So I imagine it's going to translate in them to knowing how to defend it very well also.
Yeah, big shout out to the two teams here having a little bit of fun in the match chat, trying to figure out exactly what happened to the falling death. Man, Whiskey, I just love this game. That is the truth. Okay, you said it. It's back down to Church Arsenal. We are going to rely on some intel. Going to do it in not the standard way, as Mozzie and his mobile intel going to be on the board. Here's what I love to see. We talked about setting the pace on the defense. Team Valkyrie trying to do just that with Casimira and the Fenrir play here, right? Dedicating some resources, investing some players in making sure that they stall out as long as they can to give themselves the best opportunity to make that mistake, trying to push in. Speaking of mistakes, Goose going to take a little bit of damage, but it's not going to be the death, as Mendez is going to find it onto Bry off the back of the DMR instead. So Mozzie going to be relegated to his cams as Goons find themselves up in the body balance, sitting 5-4.
Yeah, holding on to this this jail location, and yeah, Siege still hasn't been able to find a kill yet, but on the attacking side, let's see if he feels more comfortable. So they're already up 1 in the man count, like you called it, Bri, the first one to fall, and still seeing a big presence upstairs here from this defensive team, right? They've got 2 upstairs. What a shot! Oh, JJ getting I don't know if that was a good call out or a bit of sixth sense to be able to swing there on the window.
JJ to find a second. Indeed, now to take Exige out with the C4. Mendez to find the trade on to Empty, but now find ourselves into a 3v2. So now a little bit in the side of the defensive favor, and the operators recalled as the highlight picks here for that slowdown city. The only ones left alive as they sit up in the body count. Little bits of damage being picked off. JJ finds a triple kill. Sheesh.
Wow, that yeah, that the Legion was seriously unfortunate there for the attacker. Mendez just getting stuck at exactly the wrong place, the wrong moment. So close to where JJ was able to swing on that piece of intel there. And Reveal taking the long path here down dirt, gonna try and push in. They still have got a castle barricade, and look at this.
Jeez, the quick play.
15 seconds to go.
Not afraid though. Hitman gonna find a quad kill for the round. Made himself all the way back down in sight to clean that one up. And that's gonna put us at 5-2 in favor of Team Valkyrie, and quite a difference than what we saw on Chalet.
Yeah, Valkyrie, like we called it out, this being their map pick, feeling very comfortable. They defended the Church Arsenal site. Ton of roam presence upstairs. Goons not able to find any sort of rhythm in trying to clear out those roamers. So, like we said earlier, this was Team Valkyrie really setting the pace and controlling basically this entire map. And we did see the Goons win on their defense up here in the gym bedroom site, but other than that, they just really have not been able to find success. So here's the question, like we said, Valkyrie able to find success on attacking and defending the basement. You're going to be able to see the same from the Goons here, success defending and now hopefully attacking gym bedroom to try and even up this score line just a little bit. 2-5. Dangerous close to match point from Team Valkyrie.
Yeah, no kidding. So what do? We adapt. Well, how do we adapt? We're bringing the blitz out, baby. Let's get super aggro, or potentially playing on onto that intel game. We've seen him utilized as a Monty as well, so potential for both. But I'm hoping for quick action, in your face, the face check. This would be a fun way to try to deal with this win.
This Goons team has been very aggressive, playing very aggro, and we saw a little bit of it from the push down dirt with just a few seconds left in that last round, so we know they can and regularly do play in that style, so would love to see it here.
Oh, we're going to see it. Thermite going to open the hole up. Now they giving the blitz a chance to get in. Ooh, shotgun. He's gonna find the blitz. Reveal gonna find JJ off the board. Now takes us into a 4-4 line to go down. So we find ourselves into a 4v3. Frost cleaning up Mendez, and that was a quick bit of action that kind of fell apart for the attacking team. They did find one of the defenders, but not enough on the trade.
Yeah, but they got a lot of control here at this point. They basically have gym, they've got bathroom, and trying to find a little bit here into the bedroom as well. So, boy, even though, yeah, they don't have complete control of the site, complete control of 2F, they've got enough to be dangerous.
Oh, excuse me. Jeez.
Bless you.
Yep, that's true. And now you're right. It does start to go down. That's the plan. As they're going to take it. Now it's a retake scenario. Beautiful play. Now it is going to be DD to find two.
Oh.
Field to find DD off the board. Now puts us into a 3v1. It's all resting on the shoulders of Reveal. He's going to find one on the shot. Triple kill. He's going to have to ace it for this one to work out, but he's going to go down, and it's going to be the defense putting themselves onto a match point scenario, potentially looking at a map number 3.
Defenders disable the diffuser. 15 seconds
Oh,
to go.
yeah, that was definitely rough. We saw, I think if Deity hadn't been able to get a double there to even that thing up so quickly, that would have been certainly would have been a different round for the Goons. They looked like they had that one in the bag. That was their round certainly to win. And Team Valkyrie just coming up clutch exactly when they needed it. They have come on much stronger here in this clubhouse versus what they showed on Chalet. So definitely been controlling the pace now. Both of these teams so far have been showing, a little bit of dominance on their map pick, right? Goons, not exactly dominant certainly on that, but ended up winning it, pulling off the clutch when they needed it to. So now Valkyrie here. Match point on their map pick, so potentially going to this decider with each of the team winning the map that they felt most comfortable on.
Yeah, huge plays. So you said Team Valkyrie up in the scoreline 6-2 on a match point scenario. It means Goons has got to be perfect for 4 rounds in a row, and they got to start by taking cash and CCTV. Now defense is set up and ready. to hold the
5
pace
seconds
down, right?
remaining.
Intel being key. Well, it's Valkyrie and Maestro on 6 cams,
Attacker's
not to
objective
mention
is to defuse
that
a
push
bomb.
push block and location giveaway of the Fenrir. So lots of intel being invested here by the defense. It's a good setup. Now on the attacking side of it, a little bit more towards the standard multi-pronged approach. Ooh.
Bry was when you're up 6-2 in the score line, you can afford to take a few chances, right? And that's what we saw Bry doing, going for the potential spawn peak there at the base of garage, trying to put a little bit of extra pressure on this attacking team, slow them down, make them rethink the way that they're approaching this attack. And it does not work out for him. Certainly he goes down, but it's not the end of the world for sure because, like we said, this the Valkyrie can afford to take a few chances here, being this far up in the scoreline. If they don't win it here, they're still going to be on match point. Goons have to be perfect for 4. They lose 1. They still got to do it 3 more in a row.
Geez, Hitman to find Scoob off the board, evening up these numbers as they retake that catwalk control there. Puts us into a 4-4. Still got plenty of time on the board here for this attack team to suss out where the heck these defenders are still lying at. And they got to deal with the active cams of Maestro. I don't even know where he was even setting himself up at.
So it looks like he's in the bedroom. Oh no, not in the bedroom. Where is he?
He's being cheeky now. It's going to be Mendez to start some of that underneath play here. He's going to say, oh, empty to find Exige off the board, and that's going to be both of the hard breaches now. Dundada.
Oh, no.
Starting to fall apart here for the defense as Empty finds himself on the triple kill. It's now Mendez with all to do here in a minute to get it done in. Going to start to push in. It's the L85 trying to claim some lives here, but the swing is going to come from Empty, and he's going to find himself a 4-piece. That's going to be another one. Sheesh. We're seeing map 3, baby.
Yeah. Not another one. The last one, a 7-2 versus what we saw in the previous, to go from a 8-7 all the way to a 7-2. Definitely unbelievable that that's what we got to see here. Team Valkyrie was feeling very, very good at this point. As we head into the third map, we're going to be seeing Skyscraper. Going to take a quick break to get everything set up, but wow, 1-1 tied up in this map count as we're seeing who is going to be playing for the $1,500 prize pool grand final taking place tomorrow.
Yeah, it's exactly the way you want a semifinals to ring out. And we're headed to the decider, folks. So sit back, relax, fill your drink up to the tippy top, because when we come back, it's the third map. Ayo.
Let's go.
What's up and welcome back, fellow Siege spectators and players. If you're just joining us, man, you have missed some crazy shenanigans in the form of Chalet and Clubhouse taking us 1-1 here in the Wild Goose Chase semifinals. I am the Reverend WhiskeyGlitter, and with me as always, still my partner and co-host, Mr. WhiskeyRun. Say hello, Whiskey.
Welcome back, everyone. Like you said, the Wild Goose Chase, the final semi-final match. Grand finals taking place tomorrow for that $1,500 prize pool. We got to find out today, though, who is going to be facing SSG ACAD in that game. So we've got ours, and we are ready for map 3. That first map we saw, like you called it out, Chalet going double OT, all 15 rounds, with the Goons taking that 8-7. The second map was all Team Valkyrie, though, winning that one 7-2, and looking very good on Clubhouse. So now we're going to roll into that third map and see who is going to take the decider and that spot in the grand final, my friend.
That's right. And what a map to freaking do it on. Skyscraper for the decider. Going to be some really interesting gameplay here. As you know, we've heard Naj talk about it, our local R6 analyst. Well, not so local, I guess. Our R6 analyst talking about the defensive half being 5-1 for the standard split here. So it could be potentially Goons might find themselves in a good position, except for the way the last map turned out, you know. So I can't call it. It could go either way. Ying going to be the first to be banned.
Yeah, Ying going down, continuing that her streak is probably the most banned attacking operator. Second, Dokubi certainly seems like a good choice here on Sky. Ooh. Thermite. Okay. So that Geisha makeup single gonna stay closed. Maybe that double breach out upstairs in the exhibition side. Interesting. Thermite, I don't feel like is it a hugely important operator for Skyscraper, so that is for sure an interesting attacking ban.
Yeah, well, you know, it lends itself to that two-pronged attack approach where you're splitting it up, going to force them to use either Habana or can openers instead. Now, here's the highlight pick. Solus being off the board's huge for such a small map. So that jump out potential, that underneath denial potential of Solus going to be negated because she's banned. Fenrir obviously being played almost every single round of the last map. He is going to be banned out, which means for the first time this evening, Azami going to be available to be utilized here. And some trench warfare on Skyscraper seems like a bit, like that seems crazy.
Yeah, for
of all
real.
maps to not ban her on.
Well, I mean, when you've got the Solus and the Fenrir as the other options, I mean, yeah, that's tough. I mean, you've got 3 great operators for Sky. You know, how do you make the choice? So, Reveal gonna for sure bring Azami out to start with. We're gonna see her as the first.
Okay. Here we go. Let's get into it. On the defense, Azami going to be setting up that trench warfare. We are going to see the area denial of the Goyo, so potential to be holding on to that back half. It's kind of standard, right? If we're sitting in T karaoke, we're going to see an exhibition over. If we're going to see an exhibition hold, you're going to see that T karaoke geisha over take here.
Left.
So a little bit of trolling here with Scoob. It's droned out like crazy.
Attackers must locate and defuse the
Not
bomb.
a surprise that he's, of course, going to be holding on to that area, so he's not afraid of the drones letting him know. Now, on the board, we do have somebody taking care of those Goyos, as we're going to see the Twitch and that devastating DMR. No ace.
Yeah, opting for the Habana instead, but she brings, you know, 18 pellets as an option as opposed to just 3 of Ace's Selma charges. So we got a lot more options to try and open some things and some sight lines up. But just looking back on this whole game overall, right? We've seen 3 of 4 halves go 4-2 to the attackers. So gonna look to see Valkyrie, you know, I mean, and Sky. Sky, what was the standard split that Naj always said for Sky? It was 5-1, right?
It is 5-1, yeah. He says if you're not taking 5 on your defensive half, then you're potentially not going to win the map out. And it's a harsh statistic, but we've seen it come to fruition, right? This is a very defensive-sided map, and by very we mean like Really, really. Now, there are the exceptions. Ooh, huge shot as X are going to rip Bry off the board, evening up that body bounce. There are exceptions. We've seen a well-put-together attack team take Skyscraper. X are going to get his headpiece missing as JJ going to rip it off the board. Zombie down to a low HP and a dream scenario, holding on to Shrine with her life, but she's going to get swung as the double kill from JJ rings out. Now puts it all on the shoulder of Mendez. Now we've seen him fry before. A couple of low healths on the board. Does he have it in him to get this first round back into the favor of his team? He's going to get droned out, so now they know where the push is going to need to be coming from. 3 on the side of Shrine. There's one. That was a good first find.
Yes, it was, but that's the plant going down. JJ trying to get this one. Not going to get credit for the plant, unfortunately. Deity going to claim his life as the alternative. So, yeah, all of these attacking wins. We're going to continue to see the attackers take some real estate, take some rounds here as we roll into the decider map. It's just crazy how many attacking wins we've seen, with the exception of that second half on Clubhouse. It's been dramatically in favor of the attackers.
Yeah, well, that's kind of the thing. It's been the focus of the evening, right? A well-put-together team is going to have a very strong attack. Defense is standard. Every map is going to be defensive-sided. How can you switch up and take that aggression and set the pace on the attacking side? Valkyrie is just doing a really good job of it. So they found their first on the side of the attack. Just means everything after here is going to be absolutely cake. They find themselves another win. Defense going to go for that slowdown. Going to try to dedicate some more operators to set in the pace here. A zombie still going to be setting that trench warfare up. Bandit is bringing along the shotty. Big fan of that bandit shotty.
5 seconds to insertion.
Yeah, I do love that bandit shotty as well. And I mean, Skyscraper, a bit of a smaller map, right? Doesn't have the spread out space, the full 3/4s that you see in Nighthaven or Oregon. So in that more of a little close quarters combat, bringing out that shotgun, I think, is definitely, hopefully, what Siege is going to need to push himself up in that KD.
Okay, here's the couple of highlight picks on the side of the attackers. So we are going to see the Monty play as the shield is standard for that top black presence. You see it utilized sometimes Monty, sometimes it's Osa. It's going to be Siege with the shotty running away. Knows that is going to be coming up from the back end. They're going to start to try to push Siege, and that's the pistol coming out. Shotgun trying to get some action here. Is Monty can just stall long enough for a homie to get in here and take the shot, and there it is. The shot from behind going to ring up. They got that black control now. Is Monty going to make his presence known? Impact's ringing out, but not going to do much because he still lives to have half of his health on board.
Yeah, you called it out. That's exactly what he needed to do, is just stall out long enough for Twitch to be able to come up, or the other attacker to be able to come up and bail him out of that scenario, fighting Siege. So he's going to go down, just reveal, hiding himself in the smoke there, trying to find a way to get an attack or a defending win here from the Goons side. You can hear that Monty pushing down. They're going to try and catch him off guard, and Scoob does. What a great hold as Monty, the walking drone, got taken out like a drone does. That's unfortunate there for this Valkyrie team.
Yep, and Bry take a zombie off the board. So now we find ourselves in a 2-2 into a 2-1 as Exer takes Bry's head, and the retaliation is now on the shoulders of Deity. Finds himself pre-firing, but it's not going to be enough as the P10 going to riddle him full. Give one in favor of the defense.
A lot of the action taking place below site this time, downstairs in that kitchen barbecue area and on the stairs. So interesting that we didn't see a lot of, typically you'll see a lot of push from the other half of the map on Skyscraper, and that long hallway, long corridor between the Shrine Drum area where a lot of that action takes place. But here in this case, a lot of it taking downstairs. So sort of an interesting hold from the Goons that worked. And they tie it up 1-1 as we head into round 3. Making Valkyrie look a little bit more human, a little bit more vulnerable at that point. That's exactly what they needed after that 7-2. I mean, I wouldn't call it a beatdown, certainly, but it was definitely one-sided from the Valkyrie team.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, one apiece. We're going to find ourselves heading over to the exhibition office side to give ourselves a bit of a hold. And one of our favorite parts of the hold is going to be the mirror breach. I think they got the single wall
5 seconds remaining.
for the potential. No, there it is. They are. They're opening it up. And here's one of the things that we love. We see the mirror or whoever, you know, insert name here, hold behind that little bar area. Now, open up half the breach, which means they can deny some of Hibana's pellets that come to get it, right? You see the impacts that ring out and take the ace charges off the board. One of the, you see the run out from that single wall. It's a powerful position to hold. I like that we're seeing it brought out here.
Well, and it really prevents the attacking team from taking the time that they need to get themselves set up, right? You got to be very careful. You have to take maybe an angle that you're not happy with, maybe rush it a little bit more because you know that the defenders just got a little bit of angle. They've got some opening. You can't just sit outside that double breach. Spend a lot of time making sure everything's perfect. Definitely puts a little bit more pressure on the attacking team. So we've definitely seen that a lot on these sites that have the big double breach that are a focus for the team. I like the half setup.
Yeah, oh, me too. And then they take the other mirror and they put it all the way on the team karaoke side. And not really anybody exactly playing on it either. Ooh, scoop to find empty off the board. Gonna find himself a double with the P10. Not even gonna need the reload. Takes Brian the dome piece as well. And that's body bounce tipped in favor of the wanted goons here.
Barrier active.
But what I was gonna say is they set up, you know, in setting the pace, they set one all the way up. Jeez, all the way up on this divider point, this great halfway marker of a hallway, meaning that they still have to find a way to deal with that to get in, even if nobody's playing on it.
Well, so far they certainly have not been able to find a way, and Wanagoon's taking advantage of that point. So now JJ downstairs, he's going to find one, finally ending Scoob's reign of terror, and Hitman to take the second. So now it's a 2-3. With 1 minute left, certainly much more winnable than it looked like just even 10 seconds ago in this round. So Valkyrie certainly not out yet.
Yeah, absolutely. And the time starts to tick down, which means it's going to have to be the J brothers to find themselves a couple of kills to equalize this main advantage. So they can get themselves set up for a plant. Not going to happen that way as JJ gets his head ripped off, and Hitman going to follow close behind. One for the defense. That's going to be the first round rotate Dundada on map number 3. Are we flying through this thing?
It does feel like we're flying through. And right there at the very end, we saw one of those things that Foxe used to always say about skyscrapers. That's a very difficult map for the attackers to just even get inside of the building, right? And that final kill coming with one of the attackers outside, even as it was coming down to those final seconds. So it continues to be that bit of a difficult run. So right now,
Attackers need to locate
Valkyrie,
and
they've
defuse
got their
bombs.
one, and see whether or not they can get some of their clubhouse momentum back as we head downstairs to that tertiary site here for this defending team.
Yeah, on the round rotate, opting to go Tersh instead, so showing yet again another look, another one of
Attackers
those
have discovered the
pocket
location
stretch.
of
So
a
we
bomb.
did see the Monty on the board, but generally you see that utilized for taking that black stair control. I wonder how that's going to play out here for this first floor site. Maybe coming in through the
10
bathroom
seconds
area.
insertion.
Maybe it's to take on that geisha control. Either way, I'm excited. A couple of operators can deal with him though. Legion and Frost on the board. We're going to try to slow him down.
Attackers are heading out to defuse a bomb.
The side of the attack team though to help support this Monty, and it is going to be kind of that southwest push. So potential to hit that bathroom area like we were talking about, gain a lot of that real estate really quickly, especially because it doesn't look like there's much of a vertical hold that direction.
No, they've got most of their assets set up over here, directly over top of the site. Continuing a lot of site setup, right? We're 30 seconds into this round, still seeing the defenders kind of work on getting things set up. JJ back on the Monty, gonna push his way in here, like you said, top black. Start trying to find, gonna push down these black stairs. There's a little bit of backup from Bri behind him, getting the drone out and in place. Plus, got the ace, gonna try and open up some of that, but no, it is muted. So Siege is holding this. That gonna see it was gonna take a shot through those feet holes, but no, just gonna have to ping out. No, Monty is there. Unshields for the second. Pokeball coming out.
That's
Not
right.
gonna do any damage yet at this point.
Oh, the shots from behind not going to be helpful. Those Ace going to lose his life on the refrag. Now takes us into a 4-4, but that's a plant going down. They've got the vertical not set up. Well, my can't get the shots over from
no!
the top. Where's
Attackers
that?
activating diffuser.
They had the vertical control, but not in the right spot. Not able to stop the plant going down. That was huge. Hitman, though, the last one left alive. And that's the counter defuse happening.
Oh, my Lord. They're going to have to push him off of here if they want to get it. A little bit of that cross action. Hitman with a 1v1. Now all resting on the shoulders of Siege, who has not going to be able to follow through. What a huge play. No way.
What a clutch from Hitman upstairs on the vertical control, taking a couple direct gunfights, stopping the plant in the meantime. What a round from him, giving Team Valkyrie their second attacking win. They have passed the standard split here for Skyscraper. What a round.
Yeah, presence of mind, right? Didn't keep his head, or kept his head in a panic. Takes one, rotates to the vertical, stops the defuse, and then takes the double gunfight up top. Individual heroics
Attackers need to locate
being
and
shown
defuse
here.
as many
That was a
bombs as they can.
huge round, and yeah, you're right. That takes us out of the standard split, which is going to be early on putting Wanted Goons a little bit on the back foot. They're going to have to bring some of that same aggression when we get over to attack. We still got 2 rounds before we even get there.
Now, certainly we're seeing everybody on the Wanted Goons contributing at this point. Siege finding it, that double kill so far in this, eclipsing what happened there on Clubhouse. So now the question is, can they pull it together and find these last 2 defensive rounds? They really need to at this point. Like you said, a bit on the back foot of 5-1 is the standard split, so we've got to work very hard at this point to hold on and then show some incredible attack on Skyscraper for the second half of this map to give themselves a shot at winning and sending themselves to the grand final.
Sheesh, okay. Yeah, it's definitely all on the line. So defense going to bring out a fresh face. Torque's going to be on the board. The quickest man, both vertically and horizontally. One of the things that we talked about potentially seeing a lot more of, and I like it for the Skyscraper pool, right? Able to put that pressure on the attack team and let potentially get a kill, maybe not, and then rotate out of sight.
Reveal what? Just sitting there below the window, and even though it got open, didn't wait long enough to see whether or not someone was going to jump in. I took a bit of a risk hopping up and running just after the window was opened. Does survive, does get out of there with his life. And another C4 coming out from this defending team, but boy, the trades, it's an important trade coming out there. Scoob was the first to fall, but Dia to go down next. Thank goodness from if you're a Wanted Goons fan.
Now takes us into a 4-4, just inside 2 minutes left on the board, and they're still pushing. Reveal not giving up any of this real estate. They're doing their best here, right? Here comes the bees. Location revealed. They've got him, but the head glitch is there. He's going to be able to get equalized now, taking us into a 3-3, not being able to be dislodged. There's another Siege with the shotgun to take Bride down. Now takes us into a 3v1 as it's all resting on the shoulders of Hitman. We've seen some individual heroics. Can he bring it back one more time? Takes one onto a zombie. The pivot and take no cams. Got the location. Shots ring through, but it's not going to be enough as Siege going to take him off the board. Whew. Boy, that is exciting. Holy cow.
Wow, what a round. You're right, Wanted Goons pulling it off, taking the win. But, man, I had a little bit of, if you're a Wanted Goons fan, your heart was in your chest there trying to figure out, or in your throat, trying to figure out, was Hitman going to do it again? Another clutch up. But they were able to hold him off just for a second, just long enough, take it out for a win. And now they're going to go continue back upstairs at Exhibition office side again.
Defenders,
Hoping they
protect
can
your
find
bombs being
another.
defused by attackers.
To get that 4-2 split, man. Can they do it? Is it going to happen?
Right? 4-2, standard on any other map. A little bit of a dangerous spot here, but the best that can be hoped for, as Team Valkyrie has already secured themselves the 2 on the quota. So for the defense, they're going to stick with some of the classics. Reveal going on to the Goyo, a little bit of that area to now put the Vector back into his hands. Double Vectors on the board. Mendez bringing that mirror out, of course, as well. We're going to see a bit of that same setup that we saw before. Now the question is, are they going to open that single wall back up and go for that run play yet again? Or are they going to go for a little bit of strat and try to just hold on?
They were doing better when they played aggressively, so my guess is they try and open it up and continue this aggressive play, right? They've got a big hold. They've got the mirror on that Shrine Drum corridor facing into the T area. So to me, it feels it's a good hold, but a little bit more on the aggressive side. I like it, trying to keep them from even making it to that halfway point on the map. So got JJ trying to find his way in, taking a couple shots into Geisha, opening that one up, as was most of the rest of the team over on the far side of the map, trying to get some of those walls opened up. That's the single, I think, on house stairs open.
Ooh. Interesting. Now, they do bring along somebody to dislodge that mirror. Flores on the board. They'd be great at getting rid of some of that extension util, specifically that mirror, to try to get her off of that shield so they can get that wall open. They brought a little bit of both, as we see the Maverick a little bit active here. They do get that mirror dealt with, as it now turns into just a standard barricaded wall. One more cheeky peek. But no damage done. Oh. Sheesh. Scoo gonna get ripped off the board, as we've seen the body bounce tip in favor of Team Valkyrie.
Yeah, and that is huge. He's continued to be one of the top fragging players on this Wanted Goon teams on every map, and Exer to go down as well. Oh, that is huge from this attacking side. Through that Mav line, they've got all the control they need here on this 2F as they push past the mirror window we talked about. Got that drum control, got everything on that side of the map. So now the defender is going to have to try and prevent them from pushing up through these doors and hope that they've got the utility and the players in place to take advantage of a 5-3 man count advantage that Valkyrie's got on this last round of the half.
Yep, all they got to do is find 1 or 2 to start equalizing and feel a little bit more secure. And maybe, ooh, that's not the way to do it. Because we're going to see Siege and Reveal get taken off the board. Deity to find a double, a triple, and now it's going to be all on the shoulders of Mendez, who finds himself in a 5 HP in a dream. But it's going to be a flawless round for Team Valkyrie, as they're going to tie us up into a 3-3. And they did it on attack. Whoo!
A flawless on attack to end the half. 3-3. Yeah, that is huge. We have got to see, if you are a Wanted Goons fan, you've got to see them come alive on their attack here. We talked about the fact that Chalet was very attacker-sided up until OT. Same for Clubhouse until that second half. So a lot of discussion about this attacking meta that we were seeing at the end of Year 8, Season 4. We really need the Wanted Goons to pull that off right now if we're going to take this map much further, because right now it feels like, even though the score line is tied, it was Valkyrie very much sort of setting the pace and putting a statement on the end of that half with a flawless round on attack on Skyscraper.
Yeah, so we can see, are they going to be able to match the pace, match the tone? Well, to do so, we are going to see the Monty back on the board. In the hands of Wanted Goons attack side, and the Dokkaebi as well. So going to go for some of that long range, potentially to push with the Monty. They take the kill, they take the cams, and start to push towards Black. Now, here's the thing. They're taking that rotate from that Black stair off the board, not going to allow the Monty to actually push in towards sight there. I like the adaptation along with the area denial. Going to make that push. You'll see smoke potentially playing on those Black stairs. So we'll see that push and that pinch start to happen there.
It's definitely interesting that Valkyrie was the team that had banned the Thermite on attack, so that was the operator that they didn't want to have to deal with on attack as they try and defend Sky. It's just an interesting pick. I mean, they certainly must know something we don't, because that doesn't seem like the pick that was going to win it for them, but here they are. They've got themselves in a position to hold on defense. And look at this. Wow, some trigger discipline there. All right, never mind. We saw Scoob holding on to that position, almost like he had DC'd or something. They certainly, from a defense, knew that he was sitting there, and I don't think knew how vulnerable he was, because it wasn't even the player we were watching that got the kill.
Yeah, interesting set of events that just happened there. That does place the man advantage in favor of Team Valkyrie here on their defensive round. They sit up 5-4, and that's the hard breach off the board as well. So a little bit tougher. Just you're gonna have to walk into some doorways now, potentially with the soft breach capabilities of Zofia. Now Monty taking a bit of damage. I imagine it's one of those smoke canisters started to slow him down as he beats away. It's gonna be the Aussie Repel trying to find the kill into the A side. Not gonna come up with anything long. He's gonna be holding on to the angle.
Yeah, going crazy, trying to find the right spot there to be able to get a shot. And we've got Mendez playing from below, plus the Monty on the stairs, and that's that smoke, that area denial coming out, just holding him, making him ineffective. So you still have got one of those smokes left that are going to kill another few precious seconds for this Goon attack team.
Yep, equalized up, and that's just, as I said, Mendez to find his second on the round, taking us into a body bounce tipped in favor of the wanted Goons here. Attack, but it's the time starting to wind down, so it's still 0 of those canisters still left to deal with that Monty. So as it starts to clear, you're going to start to see him push up, get a little bit active. He's got the intel showing that Bry is holding the angle. It's the Warden, however. So he's seeing right through the smoke. He's going to get leveled, however, his reveal finds him, and that's going to be wanted Goons coming up on the attack side. As you said, Skyscraper is a clearly defensive-sided map, but if you have a well-put-together team, it is going to stay that way. And both Team Valkyrie and Wanted Goons showing that they got what it takes to take on the attack side of Skyscraper. Great round.
And that puts Wanted Goons up. So they've got would have been the standard quota here for this, but unfortunately, standard is not going to work, and because we've already seen Valkyrie push way ahead of that by winning 3 on their attack, so Goons have got to match that at a minimum to push this third map to OT, and that's it. If you're just joining us, this is a best of 3 tonight in the Wild Goose Chase League. Wanted Goons versus Team Valkyrie. We've already seen Chalet and Club going 1-1 apiece, trying to see who was going to play against Space Station Gaming Academy tomorrow in the grand final. The winner of that game taking home $1,000, second place taking home $500. So at the very least, these two teams are playing for $500 and a little bit of pressure.
Yeah, chance at all the glory, and of course, if you lose this cider map, it's the proverbial bus ride home. And we're sitting 1 apiece. Yeah, this has been an absolute barter. This is exactly what you want for a semi-playoff, right? This is where the magic happens, and it's all close to being tied up here. Man, I'd love to see it go to that double OT finisher. So on the defense, Whiskey, I'm gonna see it's more of that trench warfare. Azami locked in. See that, is it going to be that same sort of Mira strat? That's the question, right? Are they holding that? I imagine so, right? Mira being prevalent for taking apart that potential attack, that potential entry. They opened up that whole wall too, not just half.
They've got the one in the standard location. They're trying to hold the main breach in that office area, but JJ just flicking back and forth, trying to find every angle. But it looked like that mirror window holding the dragon side as opposed to all the way over on the not in the area, the same place that we saw the Wanted Goons. That's definitely an extension that I think is not typical for Skyscraper. So didn't work out the way they were looking for, but Scoob opening up that window from below, not even going to need the Ash to pull it off.
With ease, too. Just got under, knew exactly where it was, took the shot, opened it up, and that's going to be one more mirror that's going to be the head hole instead of that cheeky peek area. Still sit 5 apiece here as the last minute and a half is running down. Kind of a little bit of a switch up here, not so much on the early engagement. JJ, however, to start taking some gunfires, he's reduced to just over a quarter, and reveal as well as these two are kind of battling it out, trying to see who's going to give that first pick, who's going to give that potential man's advantage over.
Oh, look at
Still
that. Trying to find an angle there, knowing that someone is playing behind the mirror window. It's electrified, so it's going to be a little bit tough to try and deal with. Exer trying to take a couple shots from below, using those gridlock to block off this this rotate up the stairs, but who's going to take the swing? Bry seems like in the right position there to be able to win it.
Yep, now 6-5-5, still 42 seconds left on the board. Hold on to your hats, folks, because this is about to be trade crazy. Flash is starting to ring in, and it's going to be full white. Mirror goes down. A zombie quickly to follow. That's going to be the gadget kill from Reveal.
No way.
He needs to find himself a double. Try to find one, and now it's all on the shoulders of nobody as the defender's going to come up clean at the end of that round. Sheesh.
Boy, we talked about whether or not Bry was going to be able to find one. Not only does he find one, he finds two. Huge there as we saw the attackers push up the house stairs, but Bry just holding on tight, not wanting to let go, and ties it up 4-4 as we head into round 9. We're inching ourselves closer to a little bit of OT in this map 3. Boy, we talked about it. It's too close to call at this point, and either case, I'm chewing on my fingernails if I'm a fan of either of these teams because I can't figure out who is going to win it here. A lot of faith in this Valkyrie team has put together a lot of momentum between the previous two maps. So right now, I feel like they're in a bit of the better position, but Goons have been very good on attack across this whole best of 3.
Yeah, you're right. So let's talk win conditions. What is it going to be to get a team 2 in a row to secure themselves the victory, right? Or to put themselves onto that, not victory, the match point scenario. I think, you know, as we're seeing that the pace is being still dictated kind of on the attack side of it, right? So maybe a little bit more dedication to the slowdown being utilized here. Now, we do go back to that T karaoke site. I wouldn't mind seeing a castle being brought up, you know, or maybe somebody to help support that mirror, maybe a mute to take some of that intel away, something that's going to slow them down just a little bit more. On the side of Goons, however, I like the adaptation that they brought to the table, opting for the OSA instead of the Monty, because it's going to give them something that can shoot back and still have that shield to take that push onto the top of the black stair.
Yeah, it is definitely a bit of a change up here on the karaoke hold as well, because we're seeing the defense, rather than go with the shield and the rotate top black, they went ahead and reinforced it off and electrified it to make sure that it's going to be very difficult for the attackers to be able to push that way in. So reduces their ability to rotate out of that karaoke area if the attackers get any sort of a hold in. But I think it's probably a good change because we certainly see attackers take advantage of that rotate. So I like the way that that Valkyrie is playing this.
Yeah, it's adapt, react, adapt, react, adapt, react. There's going to be the first kill. Is Didi going to find Scoob off the board, and that's going to be the hard breach gone. That's going to be a huge pick, although they, of course, did get Geisha opened up already, so job mostly done, and unless you wanted to go for that potential hallway wall as well, between Drum and Shrine. But that's body bounce tipped in favor of Team Valkyrie. Now Team Valkyrie in a big way. Is Didi going to come up on a second kill, taking Mendez off the board? And that's the intel as well as the long range of the DMR. So now it's going to be getting ready to get that execute set up, or at least try to. They got 2 on the window to get themselves in.
The nade's coming out, swings in, but hits the Legion Goo, but he's going to claim Cade. That was huge. JJ holding the angle on the other side, the smoke coming out. Oh, but shot! Siege gonna take that one off the board, and really low health, goes down, I think, yep, from the smoke. Ouch, that is tough, and it is all up to Xer here, trying to hold on to this round 9 attacking victory. Can they do it? Is he the guy? We saw JJ, Hitman clutch up one just like this previously, but that was when the diffuser was down, and we saw a little bit of extra pressure on the defenders. Not going to happen here, though.
Yeah, Brian, a low HP scenario, waits for the reload, then takes the swing. That's going to put Valkyrie back up in in the body balance there. Yeah, that was a great adaptation. You know, it was a bit of a miss by the attacking team. I don't know if they knew that they had the other player in sight when they rocked in, opted for the fight onto Cade, wins that, but fortunate to lose their life, and then it was smoke to clear it out. It's a good play
Yeah.
by the defense.
Yeah, I mean, huge, like you called it out. The smoke was able to, one, get the
Defenders,
kill,
protect your bombs
and then
from being
two,
abused by
prevent
attackers.
Exige and that Osa from being able to do anything, and eventually taking her down with the smoke because she was caught there, not able to get herself out of rappel, give up some of that real estate. So definitely unfortunate from a Wanna Goon side. Either didn't know or thought they could take the fight on the smoke and win it, but that SMG-11 coming up clutch exactly when they needed it. I mean, the players talked about there being a nerf on that gun, but we certainly haven't seen it in competitive play. So we're gonna
10
head
seconds
downstairs
left before
now,
insertion.
that kitchen barbecue, and see how Valkyrie is
5
gonna
seconds
set
to
up
insertion.
and try and hold on. This one should be maybe a little bit more difficult. Definitely
Attackers are moving out
represents
to
Wanna
locate a
Goon's
bomb and
best
defuse it.
opportunity at this point to try and even this
Bomb
game up,
located by
because
attackers.
we said Valkyrie getting a little bit closer to that match points. It's getting dangerous now.
Yeah. So we talked about the defense. Valkyrie need to come up one more to put themselves on a match point scenario. And how are they going to do that? It's a late match Capcan pick, right? Could be the potential decider here, right? Bring them out late in the round, hasn't been seen. So the attacking team isn't necessarily checking him. Even if they know he's on the board, it's not something you set yourself up for the rest of the map to be able to be wary and keep your eyes on it. And all it takes is one Capcan trap going off to just incredibly slow down the attacking team. Make you check every single doorway, every single window that you're pushing into. And with that leaves you up and open for the mistake. So a bit of a good pick here by Valkyrie. And that it did bring something to deal with it. Brava's on the board this Tuesday.
Love seeing the Brava come out, the ability to steal some of these gadgets, especially those cap cans, and at least it helps take the Kaid traps off those breaches as well. But one of the things I'm definitely noticing, you see how many assists are in this game. There's a crazy amount of assists taking place so far. Everybody being supportive, everyone trying to put themselves in a position to win here. And look at this Monty, the C4 coming out. Gonna dodge it though. Deity's gonna try and rotate himself back out and away. A lot of pressure here from the defense on this Monty top black, and JJ taking down Reveal. It's the first one down and a second. Boy, this is looking very rough for this Wanna Goon team.
Yep, no kidding. Now find themselves in a 1v5 Xer on the ace, and he's got to be huge here. He's got to ace it to find himself not on a match point scenario, and the problem, he's outside, which means it's going to be a flawless round for the defense, as they're going to get the run out and a potential double just in case. A triple just in case. Water falling out the window to make sure that Ace died on the Aussie rappel.
Oh, heartbreaking there from the Wanna Goon's perspective. Flawless. So we saw Valkyrie take a flawless their final round of the first half to tie it up 3-3. So now a second flawless here to put them on match point. They are firing on all
Defenders, protect your
cylinders,
bombs from
looking
being
very
defused
good
by
at this
attackers.
point. Wanna Goons have now got to be perfect for 2 on attack on Skyscraper. Statistically, a very difficult task ahead of them, and with a little bit of momentum, it feels like, from Team Valkyrie so far at this point.
Yeah, Team Valkyrie just looking like they potentially want this last couple of rounds a little bit more. Wanna Goons be outdone. They can bring it back, and it's only going to take them 2 to do it. So you saw it done on Team Valkyrie's side. Can they do it on the side of the attack? We've seen them put together 1. So it has to be the 3-3
5 seconds
that you had mentioned before, and they've got to do it 2 in a row. That's where the tough part comes
Attackers
into.
are moving
And
out
the
to locate a
defense,
bomb
they're
and
really going to be
defuse it.
trying to slow it down. They brought out the bandit this time as well. Make sure that 2-pronged approach not going to be much of a viable option without expending some incredible utility.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, their last opportunity here in the Wild Goose Chase to be able to find a win. Like we said, both of them had lost in the XGS Spring Burst. They still are both playing in Outlast Classic Series, so they have got the opportunity to win some more money, and a substantial amount as part of that league. So whichever team wins here, it's only a temporary victory, as we'll continue to see them fight it out in this T2, T3 Siege arena. But for right now, we got 2 minutes left to see whether or not Valkyrie can come up with a win and finish them off, or Goons are going to take another attacking round, push them closer to OT. That's what I want to see, OT, my friend.
Yep, same. Bring it on. The best of the best, taking it all the way to the end. Going to start to see Siege opening up the single wall onto the construction and a couple onto the window as well. It's going to start to set up some of those sight lines. A zombie with the impact going to slow that down. However, it only allow one of the sump charges to go off.
That is huge. Not just one, but half of one. So we only got one of those to go off. So instead of having a hole that they can get through, it's now just a waste hole that's blocked by a Kiba barrier. So really did not gain exactly what they needed, and Amity continuing to hold on just everywhere right now. Tons of map control that a zombie's holding on to.
Yeah, that one deployable shield allowing to rotate between the site and the extension is just absolutely huge. Gonna have to find a way to dislodge her for sure, especially as she still has 3 Kiba barriers that she can use to help set up that trench warfare, depending on where that push is starting to come from. So they did block up that single wall on the bar, and it is going to be Scoob to find Empty off the board just as you cast her curse them right out of there. Oh. Now takes it into 5-3.
Yeah, this is exactly what we needed. We said they had to step up. This had to be the place to do it. Match point here for Valkyrie, but the run out from JJ taking down Mendez, that was huge. It's the first step in the right direction that Valkyrie needed to close this thing out, but it is a 3v1 all up to Deity, and Goons takes it and pushes us one step closer to OT. Boy, when we said they needed to step up, they delivered, my friend.
Yeah, absolutely. Said they had to be perfect for 2, and they found the first one, which makes it a little bit more of a viable option. Now, finding several in a row on attack on Skyscraper is a tough move, so they still have got an uphill climb here for a potential to tie us up and send us into that OT, and we head to tea and karaoke for this potential last fight here. It is the last round of regulation here inside of this best of 3. And so it all hangs on the balance. Will Valkyrie soar to glory, or will the wanted goons be turned in for their dub? We'll see. It's 5-5, or it's 6-5, and all on the line. Hibana for the hard breach. Again, Ace would double up on that hard breach.
We saw a lot of Finka play in both of the previous 2 maps, Chalet and Clubhouse. I don't think she's made quite as many appearances here, but bringing out 60 HP in those 3 stims. So I like the smoke play, just going over to the defense again. JJ back on smoke, bringing out the shotgun with that SMG-11. We saw him be one of the main reasons that they won that round previously up here, taking out X-Siege as part of that window push into karaoke. So he's continuing to play that same corner. They're going with the same strategy, double reinforced off, no rotate top black. So going to try and hold on. Goons knows that's a strategy that Valkyrie used previously. So hopefully they can find a way to adapt and take advantage of that, turn it around in their favor as they push for their 6th point, 6th round, send us to OT.
Okay, here we go. The first minute is already starting to tick away as drones are starting to put the work in. You see the floor as drones start to dislodge some of this equipment. It's going to be blocking off the potential rotate there. They're going to open up half of that hard breach, making part of the job already done. Able to get inside. Ace opened up that single wall at the top of the house stairs there. It's giving them that sight line, giving them that potential avenue for push. And you can see 3 of the defenders rotate back outside and, fall back to give themselves a little bit more defensive. They're just kind of giving up that area for free.
Yeah, just letting it go, and we're seeing this attacking team. They're still working on getting themselves set up for this push over. They've got to dislodge Bry and that Warden from behind the shield in Shrine. It's an important push point there. Part of that split on the map. But Scoob making the push up these black stairs. I don't think that they know he's there, and that's it. Taking down the Warden. That was exactly what they needed. Now, got to watch out for Smoke continuing to play in this spot. For sure, she knows that he's there. Wow, that was so close. What a swing. I can't believe he survived a double swing there. Hitman gonna finish off Scoob, though. Boy, a little bit of distraction from JJ. Hitman comes up clutch, taking out Scoob, and that is top frag off the board for Wanna Goons.
Yep. Potentially put this attack team on a little bit of the back foot, except then there's Deity to find Mendez. The trade out as Ampty gets taken off the board as his headpiece gets removed. Now takes us into a 3-for-3. Shots onto Ash as she starts to push in. Now onto a low HP in a dream, and she's going to find her dome piece gone. Deity finds another, holding now onto the drum area. It's a 3v2. Team Valkyrie putting themselves 27 seconds away from moving on. Got to have to see something here, and there it is. There's the equalizer. Takes us to a 2-2 as X are going to find one. 19 seconds left on the board. The Smoke going to go down and start to make sure that they cannot push in through this last area. 12 seconds, Whiskey, and it's all on the shoulders of Flores and Ace.
Oh.
And now it finds themselves in a 2v1. Lead it up, and we're going to OT.
Siege grabbing a double at the last second. They could not find a way to deal with the JJ playing back there in the smoke, in karaoke. Thought for a second there that was going to be it, that Valkyrie was going to take the win, but Siege comes up exactly when they need him to, and the Wanna Goons take it on attack. It's a 3-3 half from both teams on Skyscraper.
Yowza. Yowza. So it's OT. We head to OT, and what are we going to see? It's Valkyrie bringing out the tertiary site. Headed to Kitchen Barbecue. I like it. I like
Okay.
it. Right, to bring out the cap cam, bring out the area denial, a little bit of slowdown. Cade to help hold up top, make some of those vertical positions available. I don't know. I think it might just be exactly what Team Valkyrie needs. Does it throw off Wanted Goons enough, who are on the back of 2-round wins in a row?
10 seconds to go.
I guess we'll find out together.
Yes, that's exactly what we're going to do. I can't believe, I'm just in shock at that last play that we finally made it to that point. It's just, wow. I'm in shock of it. Siege, what a play there, coming up exactly when they need it. Now Valkyrie, a little bit of the advantage, right, playing on the defense. Now, would have certainly said that with the standard being a 5-1 defensive split, but we just saw 2 3-3s happen. So I don't know. I had 50-50 at this point. Which team, which side could win? It's whoever is playing comes up exactly when they need him to. So this one too close to call. But from the defensive, I like the Goyo coming out. That area denial going to make it a little bit harder for the attackers to push in. Plus Hitman bringing out the cap can. That it feels like a good setup here to slow down the Wanna Goons.
I love the Bravo on the board to counter it, right? Nothing we love seeing more than a late round cap can trap going in the reverse direction. So, lots of potential for shenanigans here, as we also see Siege pulling themselves onto the Maverick, right? Pulling that same sort of long angle that we've seen before. Write it down. This is one of our new right straps for sure. They open up that geisha wall and start to put some pressure onto that drum area, because they're having to not only do sight over, but level change over. Ampty does get droned out, so they of course do know that he's there. It's got to go here as his backup for that, in case that comes in. JJ on the gonna say JJ there to help on the buddy system, but Siege gonna find that kill onto Ampty, now taking us into a 5v4. Flash is starting to ring out. Be Siege take a second look. There's the equalizer as Hitman takes Xer off the board, and that's gonna be the Ash Gonzo. Oh, the Pokeball! I choose you to Exige.
JJ, wow, trying to find anything that he can do to keep this team alive. So, but Hitman at 12, 7, and 6. Just an incredible amount of assists happening. And go ahead and add another 13 to the list, taking down Scoob. That's huge again. The top frag going down. It's a 2v4 at this point. 40 seconds left. The attackers got their work cut out from, especially when Hitman going crazy with a triple at this point.
Yeah, now reveal to find one as it takes us into a 3v1. 28 seconds left on the board. It's 10-10 reveal. Hits a goo trap, and that's going to give away his location. Now they know, of course, where he's coming from. Foothold and the glare charge is going out. It's not going to be needed as the Bry going to clean it up with the frost. Finds the body shots. Makes the body drop. That's one to the defense, and the kitchen barbecue pays off.
That's right. The defense takes it. You're right. I think it was a little bit certainly unexpected, right? You go to the first floor site to start off on defense on Skyscraper. I mean, yeah, it's maybe the site that you would lose in the 5-1 half, and then get to play both of the upstairs sites again. So crazy that that's the place they'd start, but it looks like it worked at throwing them off. So now the Goons have got to find their way to a win here on OT, on this first defensive round, and then they got to win on attack again. They'd be able to close it out. Valkyrie just needs to find a win here on this site, and they play the more typical 2FT karaoke to start. And they brought along, I like the Azami, changing up the landscape, hopefully exactly what they need, plus a couple traps, plus the mute, right? And that, I think, a significant and a great pick from the Goons side to try and slow down some of this intel. If you can at least slow down what Team Valkyrie knows about where the Goons are playing, that might be just enough to be able to turn this into a defensive win for them as well.
Yeah, win conditions. Let's get J Hitman off the board, or bust. Right, that man is having a 2.0 KD and a phenomenal round currently. So on the attack side of it, gonna bring the Monty back, gonna get that intel. Didi gonna bring out the devastation of the long range DMR. Bribe back on the Ash. Get active on the aggressive entry. A little bit of that verticality as J Hitman has proved well and adept at the buck play. So first 30 seconds off the board, going to try to find some defensive players. You see JJ and Valk both clearing that whole first floor bottom map together. That's practice. Look at all those drones moving together, clearing out that first floor incredibly well. Scoop to find Hitman. There's win condition met, right? So now body bounce in favor of the wanted Goons.
Yeah, that was an important one. So very similar setup coming from the defense here with the double reinforcement at in the karaoke side to prevent the push in from top black, and you had Siege playing with that shotgun up in that location. So question is, can JJ and the Monty gain enough real estate pushing their way up in? Look, as he gets down the stairs, they know that peak exists, that angle exists from inside the karaoke down onto the black stairs.
They're setting up for some more of it.
That taking out the mute jammer from below. Yep, now it's got the can opener. Going to try and open one of them up with Siege playing right there in the corner. So, tossing out the Legion mine, hopefully to be able to catch catch Monty running around over top of it. But he's going to get that can opener out.
That's right. Going to try to open up that side, get himself in. C4 going to ring out. Not going to claim anything, though. Empty does find Scoob off the board. That's going to be the frag leader for the defense gone. Body bounce still sits in favor of the defense here. It's the last 60 seconds going to start to wind down. Monty getting active on the back end. Going to have to try to find a way to dislodge Siege. Mendez to find Deity off the board. Now taking us into a 4v3. And it's going to be Grim taking the scenic route on the big rotate. Now Monty does find himself in side of sight. If they can get that cross set up, they got to deal with the two that are still sitting underneath the window, and Anthony not going to be able to find either one of them currently. No more bees. No, one more set of bees to try to flush them out. Just Grim and Monty with all to do here. Monty is low. No impact to deal with them. That is going to take him down as a body shot onto JJ. Going to take it. Now it's just on the shoulders of Antes. We're potentially going to see a double overtime here as it's a 4v1. Not saying it's impossible, Whiskey, but it's a long road to fight with 9 seconds left.
And being outside the building and trying to find his way in, still taking a couple shots, holding the upside down rappel, gonna get an empty frag. Not gonna be enough though. The Goons take their OT defense round, where this is playing out very similar to the way we saw Chalet fall in that double OT. Round 15, and it's coming up all defense here in OT. So who is going to flip the script, or are we going to stick to it? Is it going to be Valkyrie winning on defense and take this? This has come down to a best of 3, all 3 maps, double overtime to see who is going to the grand final tomorrow versus SSG Academy, my friend.
Sheesh. Now, we're really close to hitting one of my bucket lists here, Whiskey. Right? Double overtime, decider map. We find ourselves in a 1v1 showdown for the end of it. I may just retire. No. We're checking off a big one here, and this has the potential to do it, right? We've seen multiple instances where it's just coming down to the last few seconds, the last few bullets to end the round. So as we sit in our double overtime match point, it is all to do for one of these teams. One moving on head to that grand finals, and one taking the proverbial bus ride home. One to hit in the money, one to hit none.
5 seconds to insert.
It's amazing. We saw on Chalet the double overtime Goons win, and Clubhouse was very one-sided with Valkyrie completely controlling that as their map pick. But we're back on this decider map, and it has gone back and forth dramatically, right? To see both of these teams go 3-3 halves on Skyscraper is a bit unorthodox, but a very similar setup again from Valkyrie, just to call it out, right? You're seeing JJ play up in that karaoke, double reinforced off, playing the smoke. So again, can the Goons, they know that that's going to be happening. Can they turn that into an advantage for them? Can they find a way to get a win off of that intel? So we saw the Valkyrie go downstairs for their first, and maybe that was tactical, right? Play the site that they maybe weren't comfortable with, go upstairs to T karaoke. They won. Let's see, they won it on attack. Feels like maybe this is tactical on their side to finish an OT with what is potentially their best site.
Yeah, well, the first minute's gone off the board, and we're still seeing a 5-all as very little contest is rang out. Now, Monty has made his way in, taking some of that black stair real estate. Gridlock already disposed of all of her tracks on the flank, on the rotate, making sure that they've got plenty of notice and time. If somebody's coming up, oh man, so close to finding himself a gunfight here.
Yes.
A little bit of damage as he's still looking for that kill. Lots of pings coming out here from the walking drone. We still find ourselves 5-5s. The verticality trying to be the deciding factor here on JJ. Not to be outdone. He is not afraid. He is playing life. One canister still left on the board to help stall this Monty out.
Well, it's exactly what we expected, right? The Goons knowing that he's playing in that location, and they are focusing a ton of effort and utility to try and clear JJ out and hopefully get a kill on him so Monty can push in and find it. It has all come down to a single round for $500. That's where we find ourselves, and the chance at 1,000.
Okay, 43 seconds left. This is it. It's all to do. It's 5-5. Smoke first to go down. And that is going to be the actual kill on the reveal. And Mendez to follow now as Bry and Deity come up. Now JJ is down, so we find ourselves in a 4v3. Monty going to try to clean that kill up, and they do. Now you have the sight control. Is Monty going to start to set himself up? But Deity still inside, going to take the swing. Now he's all up to Monty as he's 1 HP. And it's Team Valkyrie moving on. Sheesh. Oh.
A hard-fought victory indeed. 8-7, and we finally see it. JJ come up, and the rest of that Team Valkyrie, they have found a way to win 8-7. Wow, my friend, what a round.
No kidding. all on the line. It came down to the last 40 seconds of gameplay. Boy, you just can't ask for a more exciting end to the semifinals and introduction into the grand.
That's right. The grand final tomorrow is going to be SSG Academy taking on Team Valkyrie there to see who is going to take home that $1,000 first place prize and $500 for the runner-up. So you got to get through a best of 5 to win it. But wow, what a best of 3! That was like you called it, an unbelievable semifinal game and a ton of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, man. And I can't believe it's over. It feels like it went so freaking quick as we just find ourselves at the edge of the 3-hour mark. I wanted more Siege, dang it. And we took it as far as we could.
Oh, what a great game. So, yeah, we are definitely looking forward. That game tomorrow is going to take place here on the Siege Double Shot at, I believe, 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, now that we've rolled ourselves into the time change here in Eastern United States. So, looking forward to seeing everybody back for this one, for that grand final. It's going to be amazing.
And so, alas, as it is done, we're out of Siege. We get to the point of the evening where we must, alas, bid you adieu. So as the lights start to dim and the jukebox starts to sing closing time, as always, my friends, you don't have to go home.
But you can't stay here.
Heyo.
Let's go.